Shut up! 24%. What? 24%. Your child, you're gonna call a pussy. Your child, you're gonna call a pussy. 24%. What? 24%. Your child, you're gonna call a pussy. Your child, you're gonna call a pussy.
One of the more shocking things that I have experienced over the course of those years are the number of young boys and girls who have openly declared their apostasy to me.
What? 24%. Your child, you're gonna call a pussy.
If I were to bring reasonable evidence that the Prophet Muhammad, that he was a true prophet, would you be willing to become a Muslim?
How about no, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy your Allah. No, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy your no.
I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah.
No.
I like Tim Hortons way better.
No.
Chugging gallons of maple syrup.
No.
I like Tim Hortons way better,
No.
Chugging gallons of maple syrup.
How about no, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy your Allah. No, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy you. No. How about no, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy your Allah. No, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy you. No.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream today with myself, and you should be able to hear her, daughter of Christ.
Well, hello, everyone. God bless you all. Welcome to another live stream with myself and with Jai, the disembodied voice again, but I am here. It's good to be with you guys. I had to come because of this. We're going viral. We didn't realize it for a while, but that was Jai, his meme making machine.
Yeah, we tried our what do you want to call it? I don't know. Tried our shot. We took a shot at doing some memes, make some memes, and it went really viral really fast. Like, we're talking like a million views in less than 24 hours. I think in 24 hours it was like 1.4 million views, and I had no idea that was going to happen. And we'll show you guys the meme. I think I got it here if I can do this correctly. Let me see.
Wow.
Why is it?
You know what's funny? About this? Muslims are like, we need a scholar. You need Arabic. We need the standards to be higher and higher. And then we like do so much research. We translate everything, double check, pray over it. And what gets them is a meme, really, and clown face. That's when they click.
That's when they click. So this is the meme, guys. You have like the evolving clown face, except it's a Muslim this time. He has he's got the beard, and we give him, a little bit of a Muslim look. That was a ChatGPT. I was like, can you transform this guy to look like a Muslim? And ChatGPT's like, say less. And it made the outline for me. And then I filled in the blanks. So I was watching a debate between Fearless Truth, Nick, and he was on Inspiring Philosophy. And I was watching his debate, and it was on the Trinity. And I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching it, I'm like, over and over and over and over again, it's like we're so clear when we give definitions for what the Trinity is. What do we mean when we say Trinity? One God, three persons. And it's very, very clear. Like, you can, if you zoom in a little bit, you can kind of see the illustration here. The Father is not the Son. The Son is not the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is not the Father. But the Father is God. The Son is God. The Holy Spirit is God. And so Muslims will take that and they'll say, oh, three gods. But we're making categorical differences. We're saying three persons and we're saying one God. So we're using different categories, and I'm thinking like, okay, that's one hand that I'm thinking about. And then I saw David, he was responding to some Muslim, one of these like Dawah Muslims, and the guy was talking about the Quran's preserved, and David was saying something about like, oh, you're still pushing this like Dawah life from like 2000 or something like that, whatever the way he was presenting it. And so all of a sudden the two just kind of like went together. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm not saying this is like original with me. I'm not the first one who thought of this. David has a video on this. As you can see right here, this is David's video. And a lot of people have thought about this and articulated it like this as well. But I just wanted to put it in meme form. So here we have it. Three gods. You guys believe in three gods. So ignoring all the category distinctions we make, and when we say person versus being, but then they start talking about the Quran. And once they start talking about the Quran, what do? We talk about the fact that there's more than one Quran, but doesn't sit well with the Muslim. So you show them like two Qurans, like you show them like Hafs and Warsh, for example. There's still one. It's still one Quran. Then you want to throw in a third one, Qalun. Still one. And then you just throw in a whole bunch of them, and they're saying it's still one. So they'll maintain that there's only one Quran, despite there being like 20 texts in front of their face. It's still one.
Mm-hmm.
But they say three persons is three gods. So that's the meme. And look at the views. Check it out.
Whoa, 2.5 million views. It
No.
hit a nerve. It hit a nerve.
I don't know if this does it, like if it pops on the screen here. Can you guys see that too? Yeah, you guys can see that. See, it says impressions 3 million.
Dang.
But it says here views 2.5 million. So I don't know the difference there, but 2.5 million views and 3 million impressions. So yeah, what do you think? I think I just did this one night, and we like woke up the next day and we were like, whoa, is it like
we were viral. It went viral.
What did you think about it when you saw this?
Bless them. Muslims are they're so predictable. You can set your watch to them. So they're all raged in the comments. You're lying. It's not the same. Well, we had Muslim Cowboy that said it's all the same. Exactly. It is one Quran. But they were...
Pull up this comment here. So he became the meme. Muslim Cowboy became the meme. Check it out.
What do you say? That's actually right. All the readings are one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he literally became, guys, he literally became the meme. Okay? That's one.
They're all one.
2 is still one Quran. 3 is still one Quran. And then you put all the different, that's still one. And he actually became the meme. Guys, he embodied the meme. So yeah, you were talking about how he took off with that, and yeah, I was like,
you know what's funny about all this? They're all enraged about how dare you say this about the Quran. You notice that in the comments they forgot to attack the Trinity.
Yeah, no one said anything about the Trinity. I mean, at least I didn't see comments like the top comments. At least they were all about the Quran. So yeah, you're right.
Because they don't understand that point. The fact that you have different readings and you insist it's one Quran, you're proving the point that you can have 3 different persons and one God.
Yeah.
Like you're forgetting the point.
Yeah. So you can have one thing in one. It can be one in one way and more than one in another. In very simple terms, it can be one in one way, one in one sense, and more than one in another sense. So,
yeah, like I like to simplify it. It's not exactly the same, but I have 5 fingers and 1 hand. That doesn't mean I have 5 hands. But that's how Muslims, they're different, what you call different categories. I know, it's a bit too big a word for them. Categories means different type of thing that you're talking about. A person. Right? So it's 3 persons and 1 God. Doesn't mean you have 3 gods. But they can't understand that. So you've now said, oh, what about the Quran? It comes in all these different modes. And they insist it's still one Quran. Okay, so you've proven our point that our God is still one then.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm trying to say?
And I think that, like, depending on how the Muslim defines Quran, which it gets really, really like wild and weird, they actually do have this problem. So it actually ends up becoming a problem for them where they actually really do have more than one Quran, whereas we only have one God. So yeah, this is the meme, and we actually made another one. We made another. Let me give the link for that in the chat. Give
the link to this first viral one, please, and then we can move on to the next one. So what do you guys think of the meme? I'll speak to the chat. What do you guys think of the meme?
So there's the link right there, guys, for the first viral one. And then we have a second one that's on its way up, but we need your guys' help. We need you guys' help. We need you guys to help interact and quote tweet people and reply to some comments. But yeah, keep going with the chat while I pull up the other one.
Yeah, it's hard to just describe the Trinity because nothing you say will be absolutely accurate. So all the examples that we give will be will fall short in some way. But the difference between when you describe God and when you describe a book is that a book, you know, it's not God. You can open it, check if it's different compared to another book. People are asking me how I am. I am absolutely fine. I just don't have a camera and my internet isn't great. That's why you can only hear me and not see me.
Yeah.
So don't worry, guys. So what do you think? People like the meme.
Okay, cool. So you guys want to see the second one? So I see some people say you don't use Twitter, which is fine. Don't need to use Twitter if you don't like using it for whatever reason you have. No problem. Now here's the second meme. The second meme is this one I posted in the chat, and I'll put it up here. So now here's this one. This is the famous the Drake meme.
This is a Drake one. Drake has the Muslim hat. He's the Muslim hat.
A Muslim Drake. And you guys see it's the same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. 3 persons, 1 God? Nah, can't have that. 3 persons, 1 God? Nah, I can't have that. But 20 Qurans, 1 Quran? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you even have like a visualization right here. Now I know that if you actually were to count these, it's actually 21, but it's just a meme, guys. So yeah.
So these are real. Are they real Qurans? They're not made up. They haven't
if you zoom in, you are going to get the actual names. So you will get all the names. You can see like Adori was 3 times here because one in one reader, one in another reader, and then it duplicated once. Other than that, all the other ones are here. So if you zoom in, you actually will get all the different Qurans. So right now we're at 325K. So if you guys have X, you do this right here, like how I did. I reposted it or you heart it. And if you want to respond to some of the comments, like David did, Avery did. If you guys want to respond to some of the comments, like you want to respond to some of the Muslims, like this guy right here, how many chickens do you see? And Christians, we only see 1 chicken apparently. And so I asked, how many Qurans do you see? So if you guys want to respond, feel free. Any sort of interaction helps. Like if you wanted to quote this person and refute them through a quote, or you wanted to just click on it like this and respond, you can do that too. You guys don't have to, but we are going to be going over some slides today. So if you guys want to see some of what we're talking about, some of the differences, like this person asked the differences here. I did do a stream with David on this, and these are the slides that I used. We'll show these slides again in this stream. I did edit, like I added like 2 extra ones, and then I edited some earlier as well. So yeah, if you guys want to jump in, you guys want to respond to some of these guys, any interaction helps. See, there's some like blasphemous ones where they come in and they, but if you guys want to jump in at all and, respond, it just helps the visibility. Apparently, that's how the algorithm on X works. We're kind of learning how this works on X. Another thing that if you guys want to do is this. You go on like the top here and you view post activity. Okay, view post activity. Now up here, you can see who quoted your tweet, and this person quoted the tweet here. And what we notice is Muslims, whenever they quote tweet us, they never give a response. They just insult. So when the argument is so stupid, you just watch them and you don't even try to explain. So he's not actually giving anything in terms of a rebuttal. He's just calling it stupid. But look at how many views he got, 250K views.
So thanks. You just helped spread it. Yeah.
So
good job, genius. Good job.
So Muslims don't realize it, but when they do that, they're helping us out so much. And we tell them that, and they're still going to do it. They're still going to do it. So if you guys want to like go into his,
Look at God logic.
yeah, God logic, yeah.
He's laughing.
And that just him laugh, guys. Just God logic laughing, just him laughing. Watch this. He got like almost 10K views just on laughing. But yeah, so if you go through these, you'll see a bunch of Muslims, and you want to click on his, you'll see Muslims there as well. It's just like 326K. I wonder if it refreshes by the end of the stream what it will be, but I'm not sure if this one's going to get 1 million as well. I'm not sure like how. We're still kind of figuring this stuff out. We're new at this.
But you got 1/3 of 1 million in like a day. Or
yeah.
Not even a day, a full 24 hours yet. Like these numbers are insane.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
I'm so happy that 3 million Muslims saw the first meme.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's amazing.
Yep. And so basically we thought like, we would just go over some like slides that we did with David. And then like I said, I added some. But before we do that, I wanted to show like what you guys are going to hear. If you guys already know the topic and you debate Muslims on this, then this is going to be something that like you're very familiar with in terms of how they respond. Or if this is a topic that you want to learn a little bit more about, and then you want to start using it in your evangelism and your outreach to Muslims, then you'll see like this is what you can expect for responses. But before we do that, let's go through some super things here. So we got members. Wow, 7-month members. Wow, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3 7-month members.
Whoa, thank you guys. 7
months. We would have a membership for 7 months. That's incredible.
That's
Joseph,
amazing.
the 5 gifted members. Thank you so much for that. Road to Damascus. Did y'all check me out yet? Yes, I actually did check out your stream. And I think if you go back to the stream that we did last week with Chris and David, there's David gave you some advice, I gave you some advice, and yeah, we checked you out. We got a member for 3 months. Thank you so much for that. And then gifted 20 people, 20 memberships. Thank you so much for that. All right, so this is what they can expect if they debate. If you guys start debating this topic with Muslims, or if you do debate Muslims already on this topic, this is what you know what happens, but this is what you can expect if you don't know what happens. So the first claim that the Muslim will make, I'm talking about your average Muslim, like the lay Muslim. The dawah guy might be a little different. He might have a little more of a deceptive way of going about this. Like he'll definitely lie to you, but the question is like, what lie is he going to tell you first? And then you can go from there. So they start out by saying, let me see so they start out by saying there's only one Quran, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what do? You show them Hafs, Warsh, etc. You show them like the multiple different Qurans. And then they go from this claim to this claim. Oh, they're just dialects. How many of you guys have heard that? There's only one Quran, and then all of a sudden you show them multiple Qurans and they're just dialects.
I've even saw on some of the back and forth, and the millions of people that saw your meme, saying, a Christian was saying, are you saying that when the same verse says they, and in the same verse in another Quran it says I, you're saying they and I are different dialects? And they're like,
what
yes.
Is that?
So in that dialect, how do you say they? And the other dialect, how do you say I?
Good question.
Like that's the level of brainwashing robot. So if once you show them different words between the Qur'ans for the same verse, what do they say?
Exactly. And then they say just different dialects, right? They're just dialects. So then you show them different words, right? Like that's the next step. So you show them, okay, this is a difference here where you can't just shove up the dialects. Like you said, like I or they or them or whatever the difference is. What do they say? They mean the same thing. That's the next claim. So the guys, what they're always going to do is they're always going to shift the goalpost. Always, 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 they're going to shift the goalpost. The last claim that they'll make is that, okay, there are differences. Okay, they're not just dialects. Okay, there are meaning differences, but they all complement each other. They don't contradict each other. That's the last claim that they're going to make before the conversation ends, because you show them a contradiction and then it's over. They don't have a response to this one. There's no like next level after this. Once you show the contradiction, it's game over. It's game over.
But then they say, well, you read the Arabic wrong.
Yeah. Then they'll start saying, okay, it's not a contradiction because the Arabic. Well, then you show them their scholars.
But then we're so far down the episodes from It Was One Quran.
Yeah.
We're so far down with like 10 episodes into their drama. First, It Was One Quran, no difference between them. Then different dialects, then different words, then different meaning, the same meaning, and then you've already like hit the goal in all of these. At the end, it's a different goal. It's a different reality completely, and it just enriches the meaning, and you don't really understand. Muslims, don't let the Muslims use that word recitation to get away. Oh, it's just a different recitation, to get away from the fact that they're different. These, like, can I put a Bible and the Quran next to each other and say these are different recitations of the same thing? They'll say, of course not.
No.
Why? Because they have different words. Thank you. That's basically the difference between the Qurans. Don't call it recitation. The way they call mut'a marriage and prostitution marriage, and they redefine everything in the world. Just because in their reality, recitation means the same thing.
Yeah.
It's different words. So if a book has different words from another book, it completely makes it a different book. Right? It doesn't make it the same, but you recite it differently. That means it's a different book. Sorry. So yeah.
Exactly. And so this is it. This is really it. This is like the end of it. So like there's only one Quran. Oh no, they're just dialects when you show them differences. Oh, they all mean the same thing when you show different words. Oh, they just complement each other when you show that the meanings actually change. It's not just dialects. And not to say that a meaning can't change between dialects. Like you can say the same thing in different dialects and it means the same thing, but they use different words. We're talking about you're using like owner and king. These are not the same expression in different dialects.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Can I ask something about this dialect thing? Because it's so stupid, Jai. In the English-speaking world, we have Britain, we have Australia, we have America, and many other countries that speak English. When a book is published in any of these countries, can the other countries not read the same book?
Right.
Does it need to be in the same language? Does the book need to be republished in different dialects? I'm just asking. No. Yeah. Why? Because the words are the same in that same language. Dialect is just how you say it. It shouldn't change the book. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know it's a con. That's why I want Muslim to hear me. When you hear the Sheikh saying it's different dialects, dialects is how you vocalize something. It shouldn't change the book.
Yeah.
Because an English book in any country of any dialect will still be the same English book that people read and understand.
Like, for example, when a book is published in America, like say it's an American author, and they use American spelling, they don't change the spelling of that book when it's like being sold in the UK, for example.
They don't reprint the book, do they? Because they don't think, it won't be understood.
Yeah. So if it's going to be written in, let's say, American English, that's how it's going to be published throughout.
Okay. There's someone in the chat saying that's an accent, not a dialect. There's someone in the chat saying that's an accent, not a dialect. Can you give me the difference?
That's an accent, not a dialect.
What's the difference between accent and dialect? The English accent, isn't that not the English dialect? And the American accent is not the American dialect?
Yeah.
I want people to hear Muslims. I want people to hear Muslims when they try to justify this nonsense.
Yeah, so in English, you can make a difference between accent and dialect, but that doesn't actually exist in Arabic. Like Arabs don't make like a distinction between accent and dialect. It's like the same thing. So someone's accent is their dialect. Someone's dialect is their accent. You could say that, how you maybe will pronounce something is an accent, right? But then if I'm going to say the same thing, like if I say, how are you, right? Or if I say, what's up, how are you? You could say it's just the same thing in different different forms. But what we're saying is that when we go to the Qur'ans and we show difference in meaning, we're not talking about dialects. We're talking about one is saying that Allah is the king of the day of judgment, and the other one is saying he's the owner of the day of judgment. That's not the
Yeah.
same thing. Their commentary, if you go to Al-Tabari, for example, he doesn't say that's the same thing. So go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what they meant was people use different words for the same thing.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
they mean.
but that's not what I'm talking. That's not what we're talking about. It's not like God and deity, and different people say it differently.
Right.
No, that's not what we're talking. No, we're not talking synonyms for the same thing.
Right.
We're not talking different ways of saying the same thing. It's like saying, "I'm going for a walk" or "I'm off for a walk."
Mm-hmm.
It means the same thing. That's what they want Muslims to think. That's not what's happening. What's happening is I'm going for a walk versus they are going for a walk.
Yeah.
These are the differences we're talking, like words, like opposite meanings, different meanings. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's not just a different way of saying something. It's not like a funny, quirky way of saying something that because of the different nations. Muhammad was in Arabia, right? He was in Quraysh. All of his companions, the ones that were around him, were in the same place, and they immigrated with him to another place, Medina, and they all spoke the same language and they all understood each other. It's not possible that he said to them, go to the right, and they understood, go to the left. This is the differences we're talking about in the Quran. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes. We got code as a member for 1 month, and then we got a question here. Actually, 2 questions. Can you explain how the Bible canon differs between denominations? That's not, I mean, we could do that, but that's not really our topic today, and it's not really one that we focus on. There are different channels that will talk about these differences. We can do it if a Muslim brings it up and they want to make an objection, but if you're a Christian who just wants, edification and learning on that, I'd recommend other channels. And how words have been inserted to change its core meaning. How words have been inserted to change its core meaning. We don't have that in the Bible. There's no difference. We don't have one denomination who inserts words and then another denomination who inserts words and it changes the core meaning. So that's not what's going on between different Bible canons. It's not the same. It's not the same book, and then one of them is worded one way and one's worded another way. We're talking about things that are limited to what you consider the Old Testament canon to be. So try watching A Clockwork Orange. It's in English. I can't understand it as a native English speaker. Too much British slang. Yeah,
but we're talking a book from Allah, though.
Yeah.
It's come one way. So I understand if there's an interpretation, a scholar can explain a verse in his way of talking to people. But how can the words of that book change according to how someone wants to say something? Like when I open the Bible and it says the sentence, when I talk to someone else, I might say a different way depending on my culture and how I explain things. But the book itself doesn't change. So how is it that the Quran is allowed to be changed in that way to suit people? It's just, then it's not preserved anymore then.
Yeah.
It's like, even if Muhammad opened it up to that kind of change to people, that is a problem, okay? Because they can change anything then. How do you know that down these generations, in my dialect says I can say it that way?
Yeah.
It's all a problem.
And so I think what Cult is saying is that even in dialects, even in different slang, sometimes it's completely unintelligible, which is true. You can have that. So the dialect thing doesn't actually help them. It can actually make things more complicated. But yeah, what's a dialect?
It's very
Yeah,
bad. It's very bad once you open up the book. Once you open up the book to be changed, if Muhammad allowed these people to just say whatever they want, like for example, back where I come from, if you want to say I will destroy someone, you'll say I will throw him behind the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's like a cultural way of saying it. Imagine if we allowed to do that to the Book of God.
Yeah.
Down the line, no one's gonna understand what that means.
Yeah.
So if Muhammad allowed that to happen, to be in 7 different ways, he just well done. You just allowed human words into God's word.
Yeah, right. I think Just Hacks is this is like an Othman. What's a debate? What's a dialect? Yeah, this is the new. This should be the new. We should print this on the shirt. What's a dialect?
It's so insane.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is what you guys can expect if you are learning the topic and you want to start talking to Muslims about it, because as you can see, it's something that Muslims are still like really interested in talking about. Like we just, we put out this meme and it got like over 1 million views in 24 hours. And now to date, it has 2.5 million. And then we have another one that's going on right now on the same topic that's got around 300,000 views. So, and growing. But if you want to engage Muslims on this topic, and let's say you don't know where to go, or you don't know like what to start with, there's so many different directions you can take with this, like so many. And you can watch some of our streams where we address this in different ways. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over some slides, and we're going to address all of these. There's only one Quran. They're just dialects. They all mean the same thing. They don't complement each other. And then the responses you can give to each of these. And so what we've found is that there's no getting past this one here once you show a contradiction, either because, like God of Christ said, you show them an example like 1181 and they just won't accept it, or you show it to them and you won't hear from them again. Like they'll be like, oh, I'm going to research it, and they never get back to you. And I'm telling you, there's like no evolution after this point. There's no next step. It's like maybe leaving Islam. I don't know. Maybe leaving Islam. Maybe that's the next step. I don't know. But we don't have enough. We need to get some data on this. Like what happens next. But
what happens next is they go home and never speak of it again.
Yeah, that's normally what we get. They'll be like,
and not
I'll get back to you. I'll research and I'll get back to you, and they never get back to us.
Yeah,
for the most part, there are some genuine ones out there, but for the most part, that's what we get.
And try not to think about it again, and put it on the shelf in the back of their mind, because they know if they allow themselves to keep thinking to the end of the line, it means something bad is going to happen to them, because they will leave Islam, and then depending on where they are in the world. So I kind of sympathize a little bit, but whatever happens to you in this world is going to be not as bad as if you die on this nonsense. So at least be free in your mind. If you're not able to do it publicly, be free in your mind and in your heart. Super duper, someone is called Super Duper. God bless you, sister, you're good, don't worry about it. I just don't want to give any inch to the Muslims. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
What was the comment that they made? I didn't see. What did they say?
I think there was some they were trying to make a distinction between dialect and accent.
Oh, okay.
And
like
I thought it was a Muslim trying to cop out of their problems.
Like it's weird because in Arabic, like for those of you guys who speak Arabic and you're trying to think of the difference between accent and dialect, it's like the same word that's used for both. But in English, you can make a distinction. And what's really weird is that when you start getting into like linguistics, there's no difference between a dialect and a language. It's like all clumped together. And what they tell you is that they say that a language is a dialect with an army and a navy. A language is a dialect with an army and a navy. So like take like what
does that mean?
Take like Hindi and take Urdu, for example. They're basically the same language, but we call them two different languages, not two different dialects, because we have two different countries. And you can do this with a bunch of different ones. You can get Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia, etc. Like they're basically dialects of the same language, but they're different languages because they're broke off into different countries and they have different political. For example, like then if you go into let's say Chinese, for example, what are called dialects of Chinese, like Mandarin and Cantonese, they're not intelligible at all with one another. They're not intelligible with each other at all. So Urdu and Hindi are a lot closer than Cantonese and Mandarin, in terms of intelligibility, mutual intelligibility, meaning like one speaker of one language can understand the other speaker of the other language, but we call one a language and one a dialect. And so they'll just break it into language systems, like, and so there's not a difference really. So it gets confusing in English as well too. But if you wanted to just stick to what we're saying, the core thing, what we're talking about is when we say we don't mean dialect, we're basically saying what Daughter of Christ said, which is like we're not using synonyms. We're not using synonyms, which is like saying the same thing with the different words. We're not.
Yeah,
That's what
they're saying different things. They're saying different things. Like
the content is different. The content is different. It's not okay. I'm using different words, but I'm saying the same thing.
Exactly.
That's what we mean when we're saying.
It's like when a Saudi person says hello, and a Yemeni person say hello. They may say it slightly different. I don't know, depending on their culture and the way they want to say it. One might say marhaba, the other one might say ahlan, but they both these words interchangeably depending on what they're used to.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening in the Quran. Remember, the Quran was revealed apparently to one person who lived in one place, very close geographically, didn't travel too far. It only traveled between Mecca and Medina. Surrounded by the same group of people. So you want to give him how many different dialects and word and language and accents and ways of saying things? And remember, the miracle of the Islam is meant to be the Quran.
Right.
Why? Because it's revealed in the Arabic language and it's preserved word for word. That's what they told us. Word for word, letter for letter, vowel sound for vowel sound. Now you want to change it? Now you've put different conditions on the miracle, and now you have to explain the miracle 10 different ways to prove to people that it's a miracle. If you have to explain a miracle, it's like a joke. If you have to explain a joke, it's not a joke. If you need to explain a miracle to people why something is a miracle,
yeah, exactly.
It's not a miracle. Like no one needed to explain Jesus, that he raised the dead. Everybody could see it, and people who opposed them were like, we need to do something before the reputation of this person, of his miracles. They couldn't deny the miracles.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas with the Quran, now you have to write 10 different volumes on how this is a miracle and how you just don't understand it. Then it's not a miracle. Yes?
Exactly. Someone is saying in Israel, many Arabs speak different dialects. That's true. And Arabic is another great example of this, to where really a lot of the dialects should be classified as different languages because they're completely unintelligible to one another. And you can have that even within one country. You can have like someone who speaks in a very, very different manner than in like the village or very rural area, or like a farm or like a Bedouin versus someone who lives in the city. Sometimes it's even hard to communicate just in the same country. Forget about like going from Morocco all the way to like, Saudi Arabia or something like that. But yeah, so what they call like Moroccan Arabic, which is obviously in Morocco, there's different dialects in Morocco, but that's considered Arabic. And then you go to like, you say Israel, there's a lot of different dialects within, Israel and Palestinian territories, Palestinian Arabic, or if you want to call it Israeli Arabs who speak Arabic as well. And that this is completely unintelligible to one another. Moroccans and like say Palestinians or Israeli Arabs are not going to be able to communicate to each other in their dialects. If they communicate, they're going to have to either learn each other's dialect, or they're going to have to speak in the standard language, or they're going to have to communicate in a just completely foreign language altogether. So yeah, that's another example where dialects are like, it's almost like completely a meaningless kind of thing. Well,
Quran is meant to be in the classical Arabic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be in dialects.
So if you introduce dialect to it, aren't you diluting the magic of it? And another point is when people become Muslim, they enter into the religion. They make it very clear that you need to pray in Arabic, you need to learn the Quran in Arabic because you're trying to preserve the magic of it. And yet, the Quran originally opened itself to all these dialects. Then why not open itself to lots of languages and let them recite it in lots of different languages? If it's that, it's an open door, to be recited. Muhammad allowed it to be recited in however many different ways to
Yeah.
allow for the tongues of the Arabs. Why didn't he allow it for the tongues of the rest of the people? Wasn't he sent to mankind? So it's like when it comes to non-Arabs, they're like, oh, it has to be said this way. Oh, it has to be said that way. The little kids get beaten in the mosque when they say one vowel out of place. And yet you got all these different other quote unquote recitations that were allowed.
Yeah, and if you go to the hadith where Uthman compiles the Quran and he burns the different Qurans, which we see he didn't do a great job on that because even today there's so many different Qurans. What did he say? He says that if they differ with Zayd, if Zayd differs on any point, what do? You put it in the language of the Quraysh. So the Quran, as we have it today, is supposed to be in the Qurayshi Arabic, not in multiple different dialects. So this is the problem for Muslims who say that the differences between the Qurans are only dialects. Uthman said that you have to put it in the language of the Quraysh because he said that's what the Quran is revealed in. So it's very problematic on that level as well. There are verses in the Old Testament like Psalm 82 that change the Bible's core meaning on whether there are many gods besides the true God. So this is the person who asked about the canon earlier. There's no differences in canon on Psalm 82. The difference is on interpretation. So if you want to look up different interpretations of what does it mean, the gods, like what is that referring to? A lot of interpretations will say that that's referring to the judges, that's referring to the Israelites, the Israelite judges. This is like the later kind of like Talmudic interpretation, or you can take an ancient Near Eastern view, which is that there actually were these spiritual beings that are not like God, like Yahweh God, but they were like angels or, spiritual creatures that the nations worshipped. So that doesn't change in it's not like you're going from one Bible and it says there's many gods and then another Bible says there's only one God. They all have the same message and there's no difference there in terms of variance. So I'm not sure. I see this person in the chat. I don't know if they're a Muslim or not, but that will change how I respond to them if I find out they're a Muslim. The original, quote unquote, original gospel must have been revealed to Jesus in Aramaic, apparently, because the Quran, the Quran can have been revealed to Muhammad in 20 different dialects with contradictory meanings. Muslim logic. Yeah, that's kind of a funny point. Like, was the Injil also revealed in 7 different ahruf or in 20 different dialects? That's
and you know what's crazy? We don't have any proof that Muhammad approved of these qira'at, of these recitations. Did he?
No, we don't.
Do we have any hadiths?
No.
Of Muhammad saying yes to Hafs, yes to Warsh, yes to Qalun? These people came hundreds of years later.
Correct.
So they could have been made up. I think that they were not approved by your Muhammad before he died. Muhammad before he died didn't say yes to Hafs, yes to Qalun, yes to Warsh, yes to Duri, yes to all these names.
Yeah, actually, we're going to see the attitude of early Muslims, like early as in like 10th century, to how they view these different readings, and it's not the same attitude Muslims share today. So
it's all bid'ah, isn't it? Because if you do something new in Islam, it's called a bid'ah, which means innovation. And Muhammad said every innovation is in the hellfire. So guess what you'll find in the hellfire? Hafs Quran, Warsh Quran, Duri Quran, and the rest of the Quran's names that escape me. There's loads of them because he never said yes to any of them. They were all, and they're all different.
None of them are companions. None of them are companions. He didn't know any of them. He didn't know any of these people, any of these things that are called Quran, like the Rawi or this one. He doesn't know any of them. Muhammad never met any of these people. Like you said, 100 years. Yeah.
And we know that even in the Hafs Quran, and Jai has slides on this, he claims that there's a chain back to the companions where he got the Quran from. We have traditions, akhbar, hadiths from these companions where they recited verses that are not in the Hafs Quran today. For example, Abi Abdurrahman al-Sulami, he included verses in the Quran and even taught verses in the Quran, and that's according to Suyuti in his book, Ad-Durr al-Mansur. Okay, these verses are not in the Quran today, and he quotes these verses even. So, and Hafs claims that he got the whole Quran from him.
That's right.
from he was somewhere in that chain that Hafs got it from. So guess
Yeah.
what, Muslims? Muhammad said every innovation goes in hellfire. That Quran is an innovation, Hafs Quran, because he didn't get all his verses from these people.
That's right. If there's no different Qur'ans, why did Uthman? What did Uthman burn? What did Aisha's sheep eat? Exactly. Yeah, like their whole like propaganda and the things that they say all disappears once you start reading their sources. And that's the crazy thing. Like, we're not going outside of the Islamic source. Like, we could do that. Like, we could go to manuscripts and we could say, like, we could go completely outside of the Muslim tradition and just say, like, well, what can we find about the Quran just from like outside of their scholarly sources, let's say, and we'll go to like the manuscripts and come to our own conclusions and kind of like fill in the blanks ourselves. We're going to their sources and it completely destroys what they say. So yeah, that's a good question to ask. If there's no different Qurans, what did Uthman burn exactly? And what did Aisha's goat eat? Please hammer home that Zayd bin Thabit used anonymous sources to compile the Quran, anonymous rocks, camel bones, and palm leaves. That's true. Yes, Muslims like to say that they have like a source for everything and they have like a chain of transmission for everything. Well, once you get back, let's say you can trace everything back to Zayd. Let's say you can do that. When you get to Zayd, what are his sources? Who are his sources? We don't have any names. Like this says here, there's like rocks, there's bones, there's palm leaves, etc. We don't know who wrote those things. We don't know, like, no one like signed those. We don't even, those don't exist. We don't have like archaeological finds of like this is what and this is who wrote it. So yeah, Zayd would be the end of the road for that so-called chain. But yeah,
Zayd ibn Thabit was a little kid when Muhammad was getting revelations. That's what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said. He said, who's Zayd ibn Thabit to be collecting the Quran? Why don't you go to the big Sahaba, the big companions, to help you collect the Quran, to help you compile it? They excluded the big ones like Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and Ubay ibn Ka'b.
Yeah, Ali.
The people that were Muhammad said, go to them to get the Quran. And then he croaked. They didn't go to them to get the Quran. They went to some random Zayd ibn Thabit. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, Zayd ibn Thabit, he said he was in his father's quote-unquote backbone. That means he wasn't conceived yet. Of course, we know it. It wasn't the backbone where people get conceived. But anyway, he said Zayd ibn Thabit was not conceived yet. Or he was a little kid with plaits. They grew their hair long while I was getting the Quran from Muhammad. So we're going by their sources, we don't believe any of it was true. We don't believe any of it was from God. But even if we go by their standards, it's really, really bad. Go on, Jay.
Exactly. Mubahala, bro. Mubahala, yeah. That's Muhammad Hijab. I'm not a Muslim, okay, but I apply the same standard to the Bible since the Quran, Genesis 2:8, had formed, was added. What do you mean by it was added? Do you mean that there's a textual variant there? Because there's no textual variant in Genesis 2:8 to my knowledge. If you're saying that there's different translations that will differ on how to translate different like Hebrew tenses or aspects of the verb, that's not something added. Was added to avoid a contradiction about animals after Adam. So right now, I'm not sure what you're talking about, if you're talking about a textual variant or you're talking about different translations rendering the verb differently. But either way, you have to show us exactly what you're talking about so we can comment on it further. But there's no contradictions in the Bible, and no one's translating the Bible in a way just to avoid contradictions. The translators are going to be faithful to what the Hebrew, Aramaic, and what the Greek says. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into this presentation here. And this is something that I encourage you guys to screenshot. You guys can clip this if you want to. Feel free to do anything with it. Use it in your evangelism to Muslims. And we're hoping that we're going to be engaging with Muslims more on X and more on this topic in particular. So if you guys want to if you guys want to, screenshot this or clip it or whatever, then that's what we have. That's what we have these slides for. Okay, so let's just make sure Daughter of Christ is still there. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Just my
All right,
internet.
so- no problem. All right, so we're gonna give like different categories, and then we're gonna give 2 examples in each category. Now, when I do this presentation on David's channel, I gave like 1 example, and then I gave 1 thing to back it up. This one, I kind of expanded on that a little bit more, and I added 2 more, so I have 10 total. So if you guys want to, again, just like take one type of example, screenshot it, use it with a Muslim, you guys are free to do that, or use it how you see fit in your ministry. So yeah, so here are the different like book versions, you could say, of the different Qur'ans. There's supposed to be 20 here, but I used AI, so it duplicated one of the daughters, no problem. But so there's 21, there should be 20, no problem. All right, so first example that we're gonna go to is chapter 10. Sorry, what?
Continue.
Oh, okay. Chapter 10, verse 16. This is one of the contradictions that you guys can bring up to Muslims. So say, if Allah had willed, I would not have recited it to you, nor would he have made it known to you. For I had remained among you a lifetime before it, then will you not reason? So if you go to the different Qur'ans here, and we're going to use Hafs as an example, Qunbal as another example, and Hafs, which represents the majority reading, it says, he would not have made it known to you. He would not have made it known to you. Then you go to Qunbal, he would have made it known to you. He would have been known to you. So this is a clear contradiction. So you can screenshot this, send it to the Muslims. This is just one of the clear examples of a contradiction you can get. The easiest way to make a contradiction is to take like a positive statement and turn it into a negative statement, or just to flip it. So like he would have made it known to you, he would not have made it known to you. It's one or the
It's an accent.
Yeah, it's an accent.
You see,
okay. So
you see the other one is.
We'll go to this. This is what we do. We go to their scholars. So this is Al-Dani. It will show up on your screens in just a second here.
One accent is like they're opposite. Their culture is that they say the opposite of what they really mean all the time.
Yeah.
So it had to be incorporated in the Quran that they actually mean the opposite of what it said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the madness that we're living in right now.
Exactly. So this is the Arabic for Al-Dani, and this is the translation. And this is the key part of here. Like I didn't like transcribe every single name, because it doesn't really matter all the different names and like who so and so versus so and so versus so and so. The key point is what he says, not like what the names are. So he says Ibn Kathir. Now this is Ibn Kathir, who is the reader, not the commentator. I was actually just listening to someone the other day, and they saw Ibn Kathir and they thought it was the same guy as the commentator. This is not the commentator. These are different people. A lot of Muslim scholars have the same exact names. So Ibn Kathir here is not the commentator. This is Ibn Kathir, the reader. And one of his students, Qunbal, which is the one that I referenced right here, Qunbal, he says, Ibn Kathir read through the transmission of Qunbal, and he surely would have made it known to you. And he surely would have made it known to you without an alif between the lam and the hamza, making it the lam of emphasis. So the lam here is the lam of emphasis. And that's why it's he surely would have made it known to you. Like he definitely would have done that. Now, what did Ibn Mujahid say? Ibn Mujahid, the one who canonized the 7 readings, said, I reviewed this with Qunbal several times, but he did not retract it. So he wasn't saying, "Oh, are you sure the dialect says it like this?" Or the dialect. No, he was questioning him multiple times. Are you sure that that's how Ibn Kathir said it? Are you sure that that's how you learned it? And he wouldn't retract. Why is that why does that matter? Because the rest of the people read, and he would not have made it known to you with an alif between the lam and the hamza, making it like la, which is for negation. So this is a clear contradiction. One of them is for emphasis in the positive, and the other one is for negation. He surely would have made it known to you versus he would not have made it known to you. Clear contradiction. Right?
Correct. So Muslims, sadly, because of the ignorance that they live in, they
If you want
only
me to go to
know
Arabic, just let me know if you want me to go to the Arabic. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
they only know the la with the elongated sound because it's obvious it means no or not. There is a la with a shortened vowel sound without an alif, which means I will. And it's actually very much in the Quran. It's all over the Quran.
Yeah, all over. Yeah.
All over the Quran, like the devil himself says, لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? I shall tempt them all when he's talking about mankind. Right? And lots of other places in the Quran where the la, just one letter, and then the verb means I shall for sure do it. Okay? Like Allah says, وَلَا يَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهُ Allah مَنْ يَنْصُرَهُ, which means Allah will surely
Yep. Like
make
emphasis.
make you victorious.
Yeah.
So the lam of the emphasis is all over the Quran. I did give Jai an example to put on his representation. I'm not sure if it's in this one or not. Muslims will argue with you out of ignorance, saying,
No,
"Oh,
this-
la
this-
just always means no."
This is a shortened presentation. This is not the same.
La does not always mean no. It only means no if it has the alif after it. Just a normal lam alif, la or lam alif. That means no. But a lam on its own, it's the opposite. It's yes, I will.
Yeah. There's different
And
there's different types of lambs. Like there's different types of lambs. This is the one
Right.
of emphasis.
Right.
And he
So-
even says that there's a whole letter. There's the whole letter, the letter aleph. It's completely missing in Ibn Kathir's reading.
Yes. So it's missing. Yeah. So what is the answer? Is it did Jibril came and say yes in one and no in another? It's impossible. My theory is it's a sleepy scribe of some kind that missed the alif, or he inserted it. We don't know. But what we have is two Qur'ans, one saying yes and another saying no to the same action. So I will make it known, or I will not make it. I would not have made it known. So which one happened?
Yeah. So again, Muslim scholar here saying, like, look, even Ibn Mujahid. Ibn Mujahid said, I reviewed it with him several times, but he didn't retract it. Why did he keep going back to him and saying, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because it's a contradiction to the other one. It's a contradiction to the other one.
Yeah, that's why he kept going at him, saying, fix it. You can't keep saying it. And he didn't fix it. So now Muslims have a problem. It has you have the unfixed one, and one of your many quote unquote dialect Qur'ans or accent Qur'ans. You have the opposite meaning.
Yes.
Surah 10, verse 16.
Yeah, Surah 10, verse
Yeah.
16. Okay. Now we're going to go to the next one. This one, we talk about this one quite a lot because it's one of our favorite examples to go to when we're talking about differences in the Quran, because it does so much. It shows a contradiction. And that's same thing that 10:16 does, but this one seems to illustrate it with much more punch because you have Muslim scholars admitting that there's a contradiction here. So chapter 11, verse 81, the angels said, O Lot, indeed we are messengers of your Lord, therefore they will never reach you. So set out with your family during a portion of the night, and let not any among you look back except your wife. Indeed, she will be struck by that which strikes them. Indeed, their appointment is for the morning, is not the morning near. Now, there's something going on here in the grammar that's kind of a technical point, but we don't need to like explain it or debate it with the Muslim, because you can just go with the scholars and they'll explain the same thing. But basically what's going on in short is there's two commands in the verse. There's two commands. And one of them is like a negative command, like it's don't do this, like let not any among you look back. It's the negative command. So when there's one particular vowel on the word, it goes to one of the commands. And when there's another vowel on the word, it goes to the other command. So this is what's going on. This is what Hafs is saying. Hafs is saying for the two commands, there's one command saying set out with your family during a portion of the night. And the other command is let not any among you look back. Okay? Now the question is, where does accept your wife go? Which command is that attached to? And the answer is, it depends on which Quran you're reading. So the way that Hafs has it, which represents the majority of readers, is so set out with your family during a portion of the night, except your wife. In other words, set out with your family, except your wife. Don't include your wife. Bring everyone in your family except your wife. And then number 2, and let not any among you look back. Now, the other readings, which are minority readings, read as set out with your family during a portion of the night. In other words, there's no exclusion for his wife here. And let not any among you look back except your wife. So in one version of the Quran, Lot's wife is excluded from the commands when he's being told to bring out his family. She's excluded. Don't bring your wife. And the other Quran doesn't exclude her at all, which implies that she's included. So there's a contradiction in the command here. What did the angel say to Lot? Did the angel say to Lot, include your wife or exclude your wife? Well, it depends on what Quran you're reading. There's a contradiction there.
Yeah, and I've as you're reading, Jai, I've just looked at the Tabari, and the Tabari says exactly what you say.
Oh yeah, we have a Tabari and all the different commentaries for this translated as well. In our
Okay, so if I can paint a picture, if I can paint a picture for you, right? In one version of this story, in one Quran, the angel comes to Lot, says, "Everybody get out." Wife stays at home. Wife sits on the sofa and stays at home. Everybody out. Everybody goes down the hill, right? And those who are out, no one look back. In the other version of the story, everybody out. So wife is no longer on the sofa. She's out with all of them. But everybody don't look back, but the wife can look back, except your wife. So the wife is on the hill with them, down the hill with them. That's the difference we're talking. So Jai's point is, when the angel came, the angel didn't come twice, the angel came once. Did the wife stay at home, cooking and sitting on the couch and waiting for the torment that was about to come on them? Or was she down the hill? Right? Because the accept your wife in one version was the coming out, and in another version was the looking back. Like, this is so insane, because it couldn't have been both. It's either one or the other. So what do you think? What do scholars say about this, Jai?
Let's see if I can take off my... Let's see. Okay.
So people were like, wives were always confused. No, it's not the wife that's confused. Apparently, it's the angel of Allah who was confused.
Yeah, it would be Allah.
He didn't know what to tell them.
Allah given the command, right? So we have a scholar here, Muhammad Al-Amin Al-Shanqiti. Now, who in the world is this? We'll let Yasser Qadi describe him.
The teacher of our teachers, Sheikh Shanqiti.
Can you guys hear that okay? All right, maybe just turn my volume up.
Yeah, I hear.
You can hear it? Let's one more time. One more time for the people in the back.
The teacher of our teachers, Sheikh Shanqiti.
The teacher of our teachers.
The teacher of our teachers, Sheikh Shanqiti.
So the teacher of the teachers, and so imagine this is Yasser Qadi saying this. So the Muslim Dawah guys, this is like the teacher of the teacher of the teachers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what did he say? We showed the Arabic, but let's show the English. And this is I tried to kind of separate it, and I changed like the you know, the font colors and stuff like that, so it's easy to keep up with, because this is a really, really important one. So if you guys want to screenshot this, if you guys want to screenshot, like just screenshot this one, this will be great to show contradiction, but then show this one as well. So check this out. This is what he said. He said, the reading of the majority, as in like the majority of readings, other than Ibn Kathir and Abu Amr, has no issue.
Oh,
This is because the majority read, and let not any of you turn except your wife. In the
Okay,
accusative case, which is the A vowel or the fatha. Yes?
okay. Just to be a little messy here. When a scholar says these readings have no issue,
That means yeah.
that means the rest of the readings have an issue. I just want to say this to Muslims who fight with us about one word means and you've just translated it wrong. Shanqiti went all out with
Yes.
3-4 paragraphs on this, talking about how there's no issue with one, but there's another issue with the other. So you're going to have to fight us on the word for issue, the word for problem, the word for contradiction, and the rest of the paragraph. Okay.
Well, if like they pay attention to the word contradiction, and they ignore the rest of the things that he says where he points out the contradiction. So here we go. So he goes on. According to this reading, there is no problem in the verse, and it's I just kind of think about this and I kind of laugh. I'm like, well, if you're only looking at one reading, why would you have a problem unless there's like a contradiction in the verse itself? So there's only a problem if you have like two different readings that conflict with each other, right? So anyway, he says, according to this reading, there's no problem in the verse. The meaning is, travel by night with your family, except your wife. So do not take her with you. Leave her with those who will be destroyed. Indeed, what afflicts them will afflict her. Chapter 11, verse 81. Because she is a disbeliever from among them.
Okay. So she sits at home, right?
Yes.
Doesn't leave the house.
Exactly.
You leave it behind. You take your
travel by
family
night
in.
with your family, except your wife. So he even says, I put it in bold. So do not take her with you. Do not take her with you.
So you leave the house at night. You take your kids and everybody else. You leave the wife. She's sleeping. It's at night. So she's back home.
Yeah.
Just saying, because the torment, the punishment will come soon, and she'll be with those who are dying. Okay.
Okay. So as for here's the problematic reading, guys. Here's the problematic reading. This is the key point that you want to get home with the Muslims. As for the reading of Abu Amr and Ibn Kathir, in the nominative case, which is the U vowel or the Dhamma, in except your wife. Thus, in the verse, there is a problem, a contradiction. Now, you'll see that we translate this part differently in different presentations we've done, because we've seen Muslims get really upset about this one. So we love emphasizing that he says there's a contradiction, but there's also another word that he says, which is
problem.
Yeah, a problem. So he's like,
and it happens. He doubles down. It happens to be the word that everybody knows.
Yeah.
When they say no ishkal, no mushkil.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that word, even non-Arab. So I don't know why they're fighting. He says ishkalun muta'aridun.
Yeah.
Sadly, he says problem and he says contradiction. And you can tell from the way he's saying.
Yeah, ishkal is also used in the above when he talks about there's no ishkal.
No. So they didn't have a problem when he said with the word, when he said it in the previous paragraph. There's no problem. So imagine talking about your holy book, saying there's a problem with this verse. There's no problem here. As soon as you see a scholar saying there's no problem here, you know there's a problem coming.
Yeah.
In the other verse. Okay.
Exactly. So I just wanted to show, like, if you guys can see in the Arabic, these are identical. He's saying there's no problem here, but there is a problem here. Okay.
Yeah, but...
All right. So he says, thus in the verse there is a problem, a contradiction. Now you can trace that in different ways. You can say like a contradictory problem, or you can turn contradiction into like more of an
A
adjective.
problematic contradiction.
Yeah, like
a contradictory problem. Anything that is bad.
Yeah, that's why you'll see us kind of like changing the translation every now and then, because we want to see which one would the Muslims want to respond to the most. What we found is that they respond to contradiction the most, so we want to keep it contradiction because that's what it says in the. We're not like changing it, but there's flexibility with what you can say, and they kind of respond to that one quite a lot. So we
I don't know why, because you can open up any dictionary.
Yeah,
the word is even used today, like muta'arid, like normal Arabs talking together, saying, if they want to say, I disagree with you, I have the opposite view, they say, u'ariduka.
Yeah.
I oppose you. Like they say, u'ariduka ra'i. My opinion is opposite to yours. Or even the big countries, when they have the main party that is ruling and the opposite party, the one that is on the other side, guess what they're called? They're called the opposition, al-mu'arada, from the same word.
Yes.
This is the word that the Muslims here want to say that scholar didn't mean anything bad by.
Right.
It literally means you're on opposite sides of the fence, right and left, blue and red. Okay?
Yep.
That's what it means.
So what he's saying is that the one with the A vowel and the one with the U vowel is a problem, is a contradiction when you put them side by side. Why does he say that? He explains why. This is because his statement, except your wife with the A vowel or the fatha, indicates, what does it indicate? That he did not travel with her. While on the reading, except your wife with the U vowel or the dhamma, indicates that he did travel with her and that no one turned back except her. So one reading indicates that he did not travel with her, and the other one indicates that he did travel with her. Now, he goes on to explain how the majority of scholars, how most people try to reconcile this problem. He doesn't tell us, like in this section, he doesn't weigh in on like what he thinks is like, is that a good explanation or not? You can find him talking about this in other writings that he has, other works that he has. But the point is clear here that in the two readings, there's a contradiction. The way that they try to clean this up is they say, oh, her fate is the same in either reading. But we don't care about her fate. We don't care about whether she's destroyed or not destroyed. We just care if there's a contradiction in the command or not.
Yeah, we know she eventually died because of her disbelief and her disobedience. My problem is when the angel came, in one version of the story, in one recitation, he says, take her with you, and in the other he said, don't.
Yep.
So in one version of the story, she was with them.
Excluded in the other one.
She took her luggage with her. She was mounted on the horse or the donkey. She walked all that way with them up until she decided to turn back. And in the other version, she didn't leave the house. He didn't take her with him.
Yeah.
That's the issue. And it could only have been one because the angel would have only come once. It's not an alternate universe. Only came once to speak to Lot. And he told him one thing. Now, they want to say, well, who cares anyway? She was bad. She was finished. She was with the unbelievers. Okay. That doesn't help your contradiction, though.
Yeah. We want to know, what did the angel command? What did the angels or angel command Lot? What did Allah command Lot through the angel? That's what we want, through the angels. That's what we want to know. And there's a contradiction there. And your own scholar admits that there's a contradiction, there's a problem. And he's not the only one. There's other scholars as well. But this is suffice. Okay. So now we go to the next kind of category here, which is that there's different legal rulings. So forget about it's different dialects. You're saying the same thing in different ways. We're talking about entirely different legal rulings where it changes how you practice Islam. So if you follow one Quran and you want to be like the proper Muslim, you're going to do one thing. And if you follow the other Quran, you want to be a proper Muslim, you're going to do another thing when it comes to legal rulings. What do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. In chapter 2, verse 184, it says, for a certain number of days, but whoever is sick, this is talking about like Ramadan, like fasting. And so what does it say? It says, whoever among you is sick or on a journey, then he shall fast a like number of other days. That's kind of like implied there. That's why they put that in the parentheses. And those who are not able to do it, in other words, they're not able to fast a number of other days. Like, let's say you're sick for like 5 days when you're supposed to be fasting. You can make up for that by fasting for 5 days another time. But if you're not able to do that, you may affect a redemption. How do you affect a redemption? Well, it depends on what Quran you're reading. By feeding a poor man. So whoever does good spontaneously, it is better for him, and that you fast, it is better for you if you know. Okay, so here's what's going on there. Those who are not able to do it may affect a redemption by one Quran says feeding a poor person, and another Quran says feeding poor people. And basically, like half of the Quran say it each way. So it's almost like a 50-50. Half of the Quran say you're supposed to redeem yourself by feeding a poor person, one poor person, singular. And the other half of the Qurans say you must feed poor people, which is at least 3 people in Arabic.
For every day that you miss. Now, just for Christians who may not understand why they use the word redemption here, is because to save yourself in Islam, there's no savior. You have to do things yourself. You have to follow the rules. These fasting days in Ramadan, they're not optional. They're obligatory. You fast the days that are meant to be fasted, or you pay for it in hell, right? Potentially. You are sinful if you don't do it. That's why you have to make it up. That's why this is so important. That's why it says fidyatun ta'amu miskin or masakin. Fidyatun, redemption. That means you have to redeem it, right? By doing something in its place to get your points, to get that tick box so you don't go to hell. It's not like Christianity where you fast and it's your salvation is not based on your fasting and prayer. It's already by a savior. They don't have a savior, remember? So this is actually very important. If you miss your fasting days, they don't go away. You have to do something about them, or they're in your bad deeds, you're sinful. All right? They don't go away. Same thing with prayers, by the way. That's what Muslims don't know. Muslims who don't pray 5 times a day, they don't go away. If you miss a prayer, if you've overslept or your meeting ran late, you have to make them up.
Exactly.
And a lot of Muslims don't know that. If you don't make them up, you go to hell. Okay? Unless Allah does a magic wand and forgive you, which they hope for, but it's not guaranteed.
And because Christianity is not a legalistic religion, I feel like I noticed that when we bring up the legal differences, sometimes there's like within the Christian audience, not all people, but some people, they don't really feel the weight of this because we don't have a legalistic religion in Christianity. So they can't really relate to like, oh, it's just a legal difference. Like they might think of it as like, oh, that's Old Testament times, doesn't apply to me today.
No, it applies.
Yeah, this applies to Muslims.
You're in trouble.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah.
This is very important. If I miss 5 days because I got the flu, let's say, and I missed 5 days of Ramadan, and I'm talking within their system, I need to know how many people I should feed for each day. Now, according to Hafs, it's 1 day, 1 person.
Right.
According to these other Qur'ans, there's a legal difference. Legal difference. Allah cares about it because He redeems that sin for you.
Yeah, and
right?
Yeah, exactly. And so this is really, I mean, we could even frame this as a contradiction, because if let's say that Warsh and is like that, let's say that's the true Quran. Let's say that's the true Quran. Well, if you're only feeding, and you're going by Hafs, and you're only feeding 1 poor person a day for every time you miss, then you're not actually fulfilling what the Quran says of you, which is you need to feed at least 3 people, right? Masakin is not even, it should give you a number. It doesn't tell you the number, but let's just say, okay, let's say at least 3 people. Like you are not actually following the Quran if you're just doing 1 person. That's why this is a problem. This is not
And
just like a minor sin or something like that. This is like
no, it's
you need to be
it,
redeemed from this.
you
And
owe Allah these
yeah,
fasts and prayers. You owe him. You owe him. You're sinful if you don't do it.
yeah,
Um, and if you, yeah, you owe him if you don't do it. So you do I do if I miss 5 days, do I feed 5 people or 15? And can I ask you, Jai? Does Muhammad, their prophet, does he clear it up? Is there a hadith from him that says it's okay if you do 1 or 3?
no, Muhammad
Because
doesn't.
masakin,
Yeah, exactly.
because what is masakin in the Arabic is 3+.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be, is it 50 per day? Masakin is just poor people. In the Arabic, there's singular, there is the dual form of a noun,
Right.
and there is plural, which is 3+. So what is masakin
Exactly. By the
as
way,
well?
when we have a comment here, it says you're stupid. That's it. That's what you can expect from Muslims when you bring this up. By the way, guys, like that's the response that we get when we post these memes. They just insult. They don't actually have an answer for these problems.
Yeah,
So
I'm really disappointed by Muslims of this generation. I hate to say this generation like I'm old. Like when I was younger, there was more dignity in answering about their religion. There was more, well, maybe because I was in an Arab country. There was more knowledge of the Arabic language. There was more intelligence in answering. They at least tried. Now they're like, well, you ugly anyway. Like, okay, that doesn't help us, man. It just like we're showing you verses. Like, look, Giants put this on a screen for you. They got the Arabic there, the English there, and when you come back with this, you look pathetic. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to say that about another person, but like, we bringing you Shanqiti and everything, and your scholars, and you're like, whoa, you just dumb.
yeah,
You're poo poo head. That's the level we're getting, like nursery school.
we have a
It's-
question here. Now it's not like related to necessarily like the problem of the different Qurans, but it's kind of just a question on the topic, which is if you missed a fast but you're poor, what's the ruling in that case? And I think there's a hadith that talks about this. I think wasn't there like a poor man? He had like a poor wife, and do you know the story I'm talking about where Muhammad said that if you feed her, then you like basically if you fed his own family because they were poor, that
Right.
counts. Is that
yeah,
is that the
if you're
ruling?
poor, it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply to you. And even in this verse, it says وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ يُطِيقُونَهُ, which means those who can, if
Do
you
good.
have, if you're able to withstand it, like your health returns.
Yeah,
That means if you're not poor and your health is back, you have to do it. You don't have a choice not to. But yeah, if you can't pay, then to feed others, then it doesn't apply to you.
yeah. So here's the English like again for the verse, the whole thing. That so the first command is that you need to fast the number of days that you miss. So let's say you miss 5 days, you fast those 5 days. So a poor person could make it up by just fasting those 5 days again another time. But
Yeah.
if you're not able to, like you're not able to make it up by fasting
Yeah.
those days, then you can redeem yourself by feeding a poor person. So if you're rich in Islam, then actually I guess it's easier because you can just feed people instead of
Yeah,
fasting.
that's another thing. It's such an elitist religion that
Yeah.
if you're rich enough, you can actually not fast at all.
Yeah.
Um,
It goes on to say
I
also
mean,
better
you have
for
to have a
you,
good reason, but like that means two people in the same position, one is richer who can feed all these people, they can redeem it. The
Yeah.
other one poor, they can't redeem it. So that in itself is a big problem.
Right. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful to your question there. We got some super chats coming in, so why don't we just take these real quick and then we'll continue on. Jai has the cutest style. Oh, okay. That little neck in the white collar. Okay.
Hey, easy, man.
DOC brings the drama. So stern. You both have so much knowledge. Okay.
You guys don't know how peaceful I am when I'm not engaging Islam. You can tell him, Jai, like,
Yeah. She's you guys. Well, you guys have seen her. They've seen you. We're just chill. Like if you guys see us hanging out, Yeah, you guys have seen. You guys know.
I'm super quiet. You can have like hours pass by and I wouldn't say a word.
Yeah.
It's just Islam. It just bugs me so much, man. It's such a stupid religion.
Yes, that is true. Maybe he would is dialect for he would not. Yeah, exactly. that's what they'll say. That's what they'll say. Any thoughts on Codex Ambrosianus? Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, the 7th century Syriac translation of the Bible. Do you think early Muslims were aware of this specific codex? I think that's the one that they found in Egypt, if I remember. Oh yeah, if I remember correctly. I don't know if they had knowledge of that specific one. Like, if you mean like the original Muslims, like Muhammad and his companions and stuff, like the first Muslims. I don't know if they did specifically, but definitely Muslims eventually got to know that one because that was, it's one of the popular codices. But yeah, definitely when Muslims became aware of what the Bible says, that's when they started to say, oh, the Bible is corrupted, because they realized that the Quran affirms the book that proves Muhammad is a false prophet. That's how they got themselves into the Islamic dilemma, actually. So pretty funny. We got the Mule. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. And we got 2 months. Thank you so much, Chris. Don't try to say your name. And we got thank you, Jai and DOC. Well, thank you. God bless you. They champion the 5 pillars of Islam, yet ignore the 30 Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Jack can't say these things.
They didn't even spell "you're stupid" right. Yeah, I saw that. It's kind of insulting someone's intelligence, and the actual insult is spelled with like mistakes that show that you don't have the whatever. It's just,
it makes you like want to give up a little bit. But if it weren't for the love of the Lord Jesus, I wouldn't even bother with these people.
It's all for the love.
Like,
love the Lord.
If it weren't for the love, I'll walk away, man. Because you put all the effort and then you get, well, you're stupid. What you have to do, you just pray at this point. You're like, okay, this person's head is like a locked safe. It's empty on the inside and it's locked. Can't get in.
We found a loophole. Couldn't the Muslims sit in the kitchen during Ramadan, feed hundreds of poor people a day, and skip Ramadan altogether, since that makes it up?
That would be good, but their God is this petty God that, oh, I want my fasting though, with a big whip in his hand. So that would actually be better than Ramadan.
All right. By the way, there's something that goes along with this, which is Al-Tabari, who says that the other reading, he confirms the other reading. So if Muslims are like, no, if they go to a dictionary and they don't find that this is the plural of this word, this is the plural of this word, this is the singular form, this is the plural form, you can go to Al-Tabari. If they don't know Arabic, well, I guess you have to get a translation of it anyway, but he confirms that it's also read in the plural. Okay, so that's that. Now, chapter 5, verse 6. Here's another one, another legal difference here. This is kind of a long one. I'm only going to read the relevant part to our, topic. I'm not going to read the whole verse, so I'll just read up to here. O you who have believed, when you rise up to perform prayer, wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your heads and wash your feet to the ankles. Okay, that's the really key part. So when you rise to prayer, wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your heads and wash your feet to the ankles. Again, Islam is a very legalistic religion. These rituals don't make sense to us as Christians. We can't relate to it. It's a completely different framework. It's legalism. So unless you come from like a legalistic background, or you can really kind of just understand the framework, or like the legal, like just legalism in general, it's kind of hard to kind of understand. But here's the difference here between the different Qurans. And this is another example where like half of the Qurans read one way and then half of the Qurans read the other way. So you could paint it as a contradiction as well, but we're just going to use it in terms of a point to show a legal difference. But if you want to make another point with it, like this is a contradiction, you can try to articulate that. So what's going on there in the Arabic? I we'll just kind of zoom in a little bit. But if you follow the commands to wash yourself, and you follow these little tiny little dots here, it tells you what is going back to this command. And then you go to the other Quran and you do the same thing here when it comes to wiping, and you follow this little dot here. It tells you what's going back to this command. So that's like a very simplistic way of understanding the grammar, but that's what's happening, and that's what the difference is. So, all you who have believed, when you rise to prayer, wash your faces and your forearms to the elbows, and wipe over your heads. And one Quran or half the Qurans say, wash your feet to the ankles. That's this reading here. It goes back here because this little dot tells you that. And then the other Qurans, about half of them, say wipe your feet to the ankles. And you look at the little dot there, and it tells you which command it's going back to. Because of,
It's a bit like Lot's wife. Which
grammatical.
command it goes back to? There are two commands: wash and wipe. So which parts of the body do you wash and which parts do you wipe? And the diacritical marks are different in those two Qurans. So in one part it says wipe your feet, and the other part, in the other side, it says wash your feet. Now you might think, what's the big deal? The big deal is, okay, let me say it slowly. If you don't wash the right way, it's not accepted. Allah is very specific on what you should wash or what you should wipe, and in what sequence actually. Okay. If you don't get the washing right, the ablution is not accepted. Without ablution accepted, the prayer is not accepted. Without the prayer accepted, you go to hell, and you need 5 of these prayers a day. You see where I'm going with this? That's why it's a legal difference, legal ruling. Why? Because it legally affects your standing with Allah. The first thing that Allah asks you on Judgment Day, according to Muhammad, is, have you performed the prayers correctly? You can't perform prayers correctly if your washing is wrong. You got one Quran telling you to wash one way and another Quran telling you to wash another way.
Yeah, wash or wipe, right? Wash or wipe. And by the way, guys, this is not just like a theoretical difference. Sunnis will wash their feet. Why don't you explain that difference too after? Because this is like, what does it mean to wash versus wipe? Like, because this is also, it's so legalistic. There's specific definitions for each of these terms. So Sunni Muslims will wash their feet to the ankles, but Shia Muslims will wipe their feet to their ankles. And
okay,
what's the technical difference between washing?
Okay, so washing, okay, and they had taught us this when we were little, because you have to get it right. Because remember, if you don't get it right, you don't get accepted. Washing means you have running water. The water has to run over the whole part of the body, like let's say your foot. It has to be, you see what the verse says? The foot to the ankles. It's very specific. You have to include your ankle, not be too little and don't do the whole leg. Foot to the ankle. It has to be running water, and the water has to touch every part of that skin of that part. And it has to be running water, so lots of water. And we do it a lot with, like, we'd have the water in our hands and we pour a lot, make sure it's, and in between the toes and everything. All the skin has to be covered with running water. The wipe is, you put your hand, you have a wet hand, and you just pass it once over the part. Like the Sunnis here, like in that verse, in our verse, it says the head.
Yeah.
So wet hand doesn't need to be a lot of running water. Just pass once over it and you're done. You don't wash the hair. You just wipe once over the top of the head, and that you're done. So the Shias, they don't do all this running water. They just wet the hand and one wipe over the foot and they're done.
That's it.
To us, that's incomplete ablution. It means it invalidates the whole thing. You have to start again. Okay? So which one is right?
President
Which
believers
one?
pointed out that they don't wash their shins.
No, they don't wash the shins. Only Allah the shin is important. To us is the feet.
Man. Yeah, they just care about the feet, the ankles, the elbows, the forearms, the face.
Yeah, all the Muslims in the chat went quiet because they know I'm right.
Yeah.
They know. They're very particular. Even Ali Dawa, if you search, he had his sheikh teach him again how to do the washing properly, because he's like, I notice you're not doing exactly right. It has to be right,
Yeah.
or nothing gets accepted from you. Your prayers don't get accepted if you the washing, which is the pre-prayer, is not correct.
And look what the verse says. It ends by saying, Allah does not intend to make it difficult for you.
Oh,
But
Allah,
He intends to clarify
everything,
it's like
all
so-
Allah does in His life is make things difficult for
yeah.
you.
So even in the verse, it's saying Allah doesn't intend to make difficulty for you.
Are you kidding me?
But
All
like,
He's done is make my life difficult up until I left Him.
and
All
like
He's done.
and that has to be said, because look at how like tedious this is. And again, depending on which Quran you follow is going to be how you practice your Islam, and that's our point. And so there's a Muslim scholar who is a Basran from Basra. He's a grammarian, Abu Ja'far an-Nahas. He claims that the two readings, the one of washing the feet to the ankles and wiping the feet to the ankles, were akin to two separate verses. And this is a paper about the Islamic jurisprudence and grammar and interpretation of law. So these are legal differences. Again, this is not something like, oh, that's Old Testament, doesn't apply to me. These rules are like, no, this is something that a Muslim needs to do this multiple times a day. They need to do this. So how do you practice Islam? Well, it depends on which Quran you follow, which Quran you prioritize. And I'm not that's not to say, like, Daughter of Christ was talking about earlier, how like, did Muhammad talk about this? That's another thing as well. If Muhammad talks about it, then it will add clarity, or if he does it in a certain way, that will add clarity to it. But these variant readings are weighty in terms of the legal ruling, and that's why I mentioned the Sunnis do the first one, washing, and the Shia do the wiping, and they actually will go to the different Qurans to justify their different positions. So are we ready to go to the theological/logical differences?
You mean illogical?
Yeah, or illogical. Yeah, illogical differences between
Illogical.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right. So this is a very popular one. I feel like this one's very well known, so I didn't need to do much here. But this is like Hafs, and we have Khalaf here representing Hamza. And the difference here is, rather you were surprised as they mock. So Allah speaking to Muhammad, you Muhammad were surprised as they mock. And then the other reading says, rather I was surprised as they mock. Now Muslims, by the way, we have like we just recently were translating this for a brother who wanted, what does the Tabari say about this? We've got Al-Qurtubi as well. And so we went through the different commentaries, but what we did was we just showed one scholar, Al-Razi, and his big commentary, At-Tafsir al-Kabir, where he talks about this particular variant. And what he's doing here is he's listing a number of issues, and then he goes on to provide like certain solutions or different solutions Muslims will come up with. And one objection that some Muslims had with the second reading here, where Allah was the one who was surprised, was this: the reading with the Dhamma, the one with so that's the U vowel. So Ajibtu, I was surprised, versus Ajibta, you were surprised. By the way, you like to give like examples of this for like people.
Oh yeah,
like people who know like a little bit of Arabic.
They know a little bit of Arabic.
Yeah, like
they're like, oh, there's no difference really, and I'm like, really? How do you say I ate?
Yeah,
you
I
say
ate
akal,
versus you ate.
Akaltu, and you say you ate, akalta, and you give them examples like that from everyday life, because for some reason they haven't been to school and they don't know that when you say ta al-mutakallim, when you talk about yourself, or al-mukhatab, when you address someone, it's tu and ta. They don't know that, so you have to give them example. So I like to say, when you say I ate, you say akaltu. When you say you ate, when you're talking to someone, you say akalta. So here is the same thing. Ajibtu, Allah's talking about himself, talking about how he's amazed and surprised. And when he talking to Muhammad, he says, "Ajibta, you were surprised."
Exactly.
Now, I don't have a problem with Muhammad being surprised, but
Some Muslims took issue with Allah being surprised, though.
God being
So
surprised?
the
Okay.
reading with the Dhamma, which attributes surprise to Allah, they said that's impossible. It's impossible. Why? Because surprise is a state that occurs with ignorance of a thing's description. And it is known that ignorance, by the way, I just noticed the word ignorance, because this is the problem.
Al-Jahl.
Muslim that's another thing.
They love
Anyway.
to use that word.
Yeah, Muslims love to use this word. Ignorance is impossible for Allah. So he's saying that if Allah were surprised, then that would mean he had a state of ignorance, which would be impossible for Allah. Now, we're not, this is not me and Daughter of Christ weighing in on this and saying that's the reason why this verse is impossible. These are Muslims who are saying it. Now,
yeah, Razi of all people.
He goes on to give like responses for people who accept both readings, and they're like, oh, actually there's a hadith where Allah does show surprise or this or that. But the point is that there are some Muslims who found this problematic and said it's impossible for Allah to have this ignorance attributed to him, because if you're ignorant of something, if you're surprised by something, it means that you're ignorant of like the outcome.
Yeah, how can God be surprised?
And so you could say like, again, it's not us arguing this, it's Muslims arguing this. That's why we love going.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And my question again, Jai, did Jibreel come once and say Allah was surprised, and then the second time say Muhammad is surprised?
Exactly.
Why did he change the pronouns? Is he's transphobic? Why he change pronouns for the same verse?
Yeah.
I don't know.
another example here. This one, we used to use this one a lot. It was like a popular one that we used on Clubhouse a lot. It's a really good one. I like this one a lot. So it's in chapter 3, verse 146. And again, you guys are free to screenshot this, use this as you see fitting in your ministry and your evangelism to Muslims. And so this is how the verse reads. And how many a prophet fought with whom were many godly men, and they did not lose heart for what struck them in the path of God, nor did they weaken, so they weren't weakened, nor did they yield, and God loves the steadfast. So that's one reading, which we're going to say Hafs represents that particular reading, fought. And then another reading says, and how many a prophet was killed with whom were many godly men, etc., the rest of the verse. Okay, so this is another example where the Muslims took issue with, they took problem with this, and some Muslims said that this is like the other Muslims said, it's impossible. It's impossible. We're not going to read the entire thing, but if you guys want to, you guys can screenshot this. You guys can read through the whole thing. Basically, you have Abu Ja'far, who is At-Tabari. So anytime you see a translation of At-Tabari, when you say like Qala Abu Ja'far or Qala Muhammad, it's referring to Muhammad as in Muhammad, like Abu Ja'far, which is At-Tabari, or it's referring to At-Tabari as Abu Ja'far. There's like different ways he's referred to in his own commentaries, and Muslims have is it like that? Is that how he referred to himself in the third person, or is it one of his students who was like scribing it?
Because they would dictate. Yeah, he was dictating,
exactly.
And the student would be like, okay, Abu Ja'far, who is really his teacher. At-Tabari said that.
Yeah, so sometimes like when it says like Muhammad said, unless it's clear it's talking about like Muhammad, like like the false prophet of Islam, it will say that, like it will say like the Rasul or the Nabi or whatever. But when it just says Muhammad on its own, that's referring to At-Tabari, and it's referring to Abu Ja'far, that's referring to At-Tabari. So anyway, Abu Ja'far At-Tabari is telling us what's going on here. He says, as for him who reads it in the first reading, which is thoughts, he has chosen to do so because he says, if it were they were killed, then what would the implications be if they were killed, if that's what the reading was?
It would make no sense.
Yeah, because
the verse goes on, like you say, it goes on to say, don't lose heart.
Yeah.
How would they lose ha after they were killed?
Exactly. And that's what they said. It would not have been reasonable because it is impossible for them to be described as not losing heart and not being weakened after having been killed. So one camp of Muslims is saying that you have to read it as thoughts, not as killed, because it says that they didn't weaken, nor do they yield, right? Nor do they lose heart. He's saying if they were killed, how can you say that they didn't lose heart? How can you say they weren't weakened? They were killed. They're dead. So that's what Al-Tabari says one group of Muslims is saying. Then the other group who were saying, no, it is, we're killed. By the way, I just want to point something out here. None of them were saying, oh, it's a dialect, or Muhammad said it like this, Muhammad said it like this, Muhammad said it like that. None of them were saying that, okay? They're actually giving reasons and arguments for why you should accept one reading and reject the other reading. No one is saying Gabriel said it like this and Gabriel said it like that, or this is a dialect here and this is a dialect here. No one is
so they must have realized those readings are not from God. They realized those readings were human interventions into the Quran, because there's no way the verse comes in one version saying they fought, and then another version they were killed. Somebody changed something, so they were using logic, saying this one version is impossible. There's no way, because the verse uses the word "they" for the same group of people. They fought. They never lost heart. They were great, and then in the other version it says they were killed and never lost heart. So Tabari was like, how can you say that? It's impossible. They're dead.
No.
What do you mean they didn't weaken and lose heart?
No. So what Al-Tabari is doing is he's telling us what the group that accepted the reading of fought and rejected the reading of killed said. They said it's impossible for him to be killed. Now, Al-Tabari himself actually accepted the killed reading, and he goes on to give like a huge jarida, a huge newspaper.
Yeah, he's basically saying maybe he meant some of them were killed, but that's not what the verse said.
But look at how he words it. And the more worthy of the two readings to be correct for us. So he was looking at it as which one is more correct, right? Which one is more correct? Which one is more correct for us? That's how he's looking at it. I'm gonna just highlight it here. For those of you guys who want to, go.
Yeah. Sawab, Sawab means correct. So he realizes there's one that's more correct than the other. Whichever one he chose.
Muslims today are going to tell you. Muslims today are going to tell you, oh, they're both.
Well, they'll tell you there's no issue, and we're seeing things. They're saying we're seeing things. Number one, there's no issue, like Muslim cowboy level. They're all one. Don't worry about it. The other side is like, it's dialects.
Just dialects. Yeah.
One dialect says they were killed.
They're just dialects. Why don't they tell Al-Tabari that?
One dialect said they were dead in the grave. They were dead and buried. And the other side is like, no, they're still fighting. Not only are they alive, they're alive and kicking. They're fighting. Somebody's like, can't have both. One of them has to be more correct than the other.
We have a question here. Didn't Al-Tabari write in the 15th century? Al-Tabari was writing in the 10th century. You're thinking of Ibn al-Jazari, who wrote in the 15th century, who added 3 more canonical readings, which are, and that resulted into 6 different books, you could say, 6 different students, who that was in the 15th century. So Al-Tabari in the 10th century, just like Ibn Mujahid. In fact, Ibn Mujahid is a student. He was a student of Al-Tabari, believe it or not. So Al-Tabari didn't live in a time when these readings were enforced and you had to say, oh, this is from God, otherwise you're going to go to prison or something like that, or be whipped.
He came beforehand.
Yeah, he was actually the teacher of the guy who enforced that. It's actually kind of, I don't know how that worked out. Maybe he didn't teach him this knowledge about you can just pick
I know, or maybe he saw the problems and tried to enforce something.
Could be.
They tried to counteract it. So Tabari is about 300 years after Muhammad. So and he's already disagreeing with some of it. So really, did he really think it all came from the mouth of God? Treating it like some is more correct than the other.
Yeah, it's really important to note their reasoning here, that they're using like their brains and they're saying, that's why this one makes more sense. That's why this one doesn't make sense. They're not just saying, oh, these are dialects. Oh, Muhammad said them both ways. They're not saying that. That's what Muslims say today, but the early Muslims didn't say that. So anyway.
And remember why Muhammad said all these ahruf, the modes or whatever, why they came to make things easy for my ummah. Does this look like easy for your ummah? Spending
No.
your whole lifetime, the scholars saying which one is more correct, which one's more reasonable, which one has to be rejected, which one has to be
Impossible.
accepted. It doesn't look like easier to me.
Nope. All right, so we have another category here of missing / added words. And it kind of depends on your perspective with this one. Like if you prioritize, like if you think Hafs is like representative of the original Quran, well, then you can say like other Qurans are missing words. But if you think that the other Qurans are like, that's the priority, like that's the original Quran, then you can say like Hafs is adding words, or whoever you want to say is adding words. So this is chapter 57, verse 24. These ones, you don't require commentaries. We don't need to go to like scholars, because anyone who, I don't know how to say it, but
Has eyes. Anyone who has eyes
can see that there's a missing word here. So this is a huwa, meaning he is. And you guys can see that huwa is here, and it got eaten by someone over here. No, we don't know where it is. It disappeared.
You know that game, to spot the difference between the two pictures?
Yeah.
This is it. And we helped you by drawing a circle around the difference.
Yep.
Two different Qurans.
Yeah, so you guys can see this is how this descendants here in Hafs. This is in a Warsh, and there's a huwa missing. That's why they put this in pink font. I didn't put that in pink font. The Muslims put that in pink font, so you can see that there's a difference here.
Muslims are like, are you seeing this? Put it in purple on the website.
So Muslims who say that the text is the same amongst all the Qur'ans, and it's only the vowels that are different, show them this as an example, because you'll get that too. That's a lie. This is not the same number of words, not the same. Like, so also if you're doing like the counts of like number 19, which is ridiculous. We refuted that with on David's channel before, but and Anthony also came on and he spoke about that as well. Or he sent material on that. I think he sent material on that. I don't know if he spoke about that. I can't remember, but he gave material on that as well, refuting that. But here is an example where if you're doing a word count and like, let's say, oh, you need 19 to work or whatever. Well, guess what? If you're taking out words, it's going to mess up your count, because you have two letters that make up one word. So if you're doing like this kind of word count thing, it's going to be completely messed up by the different Qurans.
Hey Jai, you and the chat, have you noticed another difference? It's also in English.
Also in English?
Yeah, between the two. Have you noticed?
What's it?
The verse number.
Oh yes, the verse number. Yeah.
24. It says number 23, number 24.
Yeah.
What's happening there?
Let me show you, like you guys see.
Yeah. See, spot the difference. Another one. Now Muslims are like, you made this up.
Yeah.
I saw them in one of the comments. You made this up. This is a made up website. Even the numbers of the verses are different. Yeah, because different Quran, man.
Yeah, one guy.
Even the numbers are different.
One guy accused me of editing it. He's like, you did such a bad job editing it that you didn't even realize you changed the numbers. I'm like, are you serious? Is this guy serious?
Even the numbers are different in these Qurans, man.
Yeah. So this is like, is the Bismillah, is it a verse, or is it its own separate verse, or is it part of the other verse? So that they differ in numbering as well. So not only are there missing words, but also how you number the verses. It's 57:24 according to Hafs, but it's actually 57 verse 23, not 24, in other versions as well. All right, so that's one example. And like I said, we don't need to go to scholars for this, because you just need eyes to see it. There's a missing thing there, so we don't need a scholar. This one as well, you don't need a scholar for this either. It's completely different words. It's not I guess you could say the word is missing as well, because like this word is not here, this word is not here. So you could say that there's missing words, but this is just a clear example of when a scribe like made a mistake without the dots, and then something like that, or like they were doing it orally and they just messed it up, or some kind of easy mistake explainable like that. Much more believable than the Muslims saying that Gabriel came one way and said ibad, and then the other one said end. Like Gabriel came twice to say just those two words differently.
Again, we don't have Muhammad confirming one or the other or both. We
Yeah,
only have the word of
exactly.
Muslims. That
Exactly.
so these are Qur'ans side by side in the original Arabic, saying different words.
Yep.
For anyone who wants to say word for word, letter for letter, vowel sound for vowel sound. It's
And
not
so
the case.
these are what the words means. Servants of the most merciful, and then this one means with the most merciful. So that's another example of when there's completely different words in the different Qurans. Okay, and this is not dialect either, by the way. There's not one dialect where with means servant or servant means with. Okay, so
If it's the case, then I want to know how they say servants in that dialect and how they say with in that
oh, man.
dialect. Because every dialect has to have both
Yeah,
in order to communicate itself.
or
So,
the servants are with him or something like that. You could it's like, how would you say that?
yeah, how you say servants, Allah's servants are with him. You're gonna have to use both words. So
Yeah.
you're gonna cross over dialects. Like, do some words just are missing in a certain dialect or accent? It's so strange. It's like saying apples and oranges. Like apples is oranges. Apples in the English, the British English is oranges in the American English. It's like they're different words. There are ways of saying both words in both accents and dialects.
Exactly.
It's just so weird.
We got super chat here. Thanks for answering my super chat. I really appreciate it. God bless you both. Hey, thank you so much.
God bless.
God bless you as well. Thank you. And they wash everything except their heart. Oh, that's a good one. Because remember we're talking about like the washing and the wiping. Yeah, they wash everything except their heart. Yeah. We
Yeah,
pray-
talking of there was someone saying that Allah made it easy. You know how Allah at the end of that verse said it made it
Yeah.
easy?
Yeah.
You know that ablution is the most difficult that I found it made my life most difficult. Why? It's a few times a day, every single day of your life. Okay. I remember my mom being sick in a hospital bed and she needed to pray because the time of prayer comes. And if you if you let the time of prayer pass, she's sinful because Allah is like a shop. He opens certain times and closes. She had to get up from her sick bed to do the washing over wounds and things, so that she'd be accepted. Otherwise, she would have been sinful. And there are traditions in the Sunnah that you get extra reward if you once you finish washing to not dry it, to let it dry naturally. Imagine being in the winter. It's before dawn for the pre-dawn prayer, the Fajr. You're cold and you wash with and you let it dry. I'll be shivering in the cold. So actually, Allah doesn't make it easy for you. This is the most difficult, petty, twisted religion ever. It's like a God that wants to see you suffer, wants to make things difficult for you. You're trying to it has like 200 different rules that you have to follow, and at the end there's nothing. It's all nonsense because it's true. It's your why would a God care like a foot to the ankle needs to be washed or wiped? It's a petty God, isn't it? The real God cares about the heart. He doesn't care if your ankle has been washed properly. It's a stupid God. Get out of that religion. It will give you OCD if you don't have it already.
Yeah, and it's even like how it's worded. Like it says Allah doesn't want to make it like hard for you. Like Allah doesn't want to. He doesn't want to do that.
It's like Satan laughing. After giving you a bunch of rules, it's like I don't want to make it hard for you, haha.
It's like he doesn't want to. Well, like why are you doing it then? You don't want to. Then why are you doing it? Anyway, so this is another difference here, guys, in the wording, missing / added words, and then as Dr. Christ pointed out, and you guys are going to see this in all the other ones as well, that there's a differences in the numbers as well, the verses, differences in numbers. So this is one I need to add 2 more because I wanted to have 10 examples. So these 2 weren't in the presentation that we gave on David's channel, but and they're not, I mean, they are grammatical differences, but I wanted to kind of just add in a different category. I might be able to like specify like how to categorize this in a better way, a clearer way, but they are grammatical differences, but I might be able to do it in a clearer way in the future. So you guys will see that our slides are always like in constant, like they're edited or like we're always adding things, trying to make them better and better. So you guys, this is how they are today, but it might be titled something else, next week or something. I don't know. So chapter 2, verse 37. Chapter 2, verse 37. Then Adam received from his Lord words. Adam received from his Lord words, and he accepted his repentance. Indeed, it is he who is the accepting of repentance, the merciful. So there's a grammatical difference here that you might say it's important or not important, but we're going to go to the commentary to see like what's the most interesting point that we wanted to bring out about this. So basically in Hafs and then Al-Bazi, you have it where Adam is the subject, like he's like the doer, he's on like of the verb. Adam is he's receiving the, like grammatically, he's the grammatical subject. He's receiving the words from his Lord. And then the other reading is the words become the subjects, that their words are the ones like doing the action. They came to Adam from his Lord. So it's not like a huge like contradiction in meaning or something like that, but it's a different way to word it. But watch what Al-Tabari says. This is why I picked this one, because it's really interesting what Al-Tabari says. So here's the Arabic. And there's a word here at the very bottom that is gonna, really interesting. We're gonna see what that translates to in a second. But
Translates to mistake.
Yeah, we wrote it as error or mistake. It's kind of a long commentary. We don't need to go through the whole thing, but Al-Tabari comments that some people recited it or read it as then words received Adam from his Lord.
Words received Adam.
And he says that he goes on to talk about the grammar there, how like it's permissible to do it this way or that way. But what he says is this is the really interesting part here. He says, I do not consider the reading acceptable except where Adam is in the nominative case. In other words, when an Adam is the one who's the subject, not
like a normal, because Adam is a person and the words are not a person.
Yeah, as the one receiving the words. So Adam receiving the words. He says that's the one that I consider acceptable. I don't consider the other ones acceptable due to the consensus of the reciters and the scholars of interpretation among the early and later generations that Adam is the receiver, not the words. And it is not permissible to object to what they unanimously agreed upon with the opinion of one who may forget or error. So Muslims today are telling us these are both from God. He said, no, one of them might be forgetful, one of them might be open to error.
I agree that it's probably is because the difference is in a diacritical mark. It's a scribe.
Like, guys, I didn't write out the transliteration. Like, if you can't read Arabic, this one.
So one of them, the Hafs, which is the majority, says فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ. So Adam received from his Lord words. Fine.
I want to emphasize the difference here. Just
so Adamu. Yeah, so Adamu.
And then?
So the u makes him the doer. Yeah. Okay?
And then this
and
one.
And then the next one is فَتَلَقَّى آدَمَا.
Adama.
The a makes him the done too. The maf'ul bihi in the Warner sense. The one done too. So that means, and look at the kalimatun on the second one.
Yeah, right here.
That you notice the un, that makes the words the do were. So the do were, so the words received Adam, which is crazy. But in the other one, Adam received the words, which seem more reasonable. So that's what Tabari was saying. Yeah, Adam received the words, man.
Yeah.
Not the other way around. The other way around is someone who forgot or made a mistake.
Yeah. So either the words are receiving Adam or Adam's receiving the words. Okay. So he's saying he rejects that reading, and not only because it's against the consensus, but also because it's an opinion. He calls it an opinion, right?
Oh wow! So the Quran is an opinion now. The one version of the Quran, one recitation is an opinion now, not a dialect anymore, right? He says غير جائز.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he says it's
yeah.
open. It's open to error. Why? Because they could be forgetful or prone to error. Right?
Hey, Jai, go back to that verse. It's very clumsy. I only noticed this when I was a Muslima. Look at the
no.
Hafs.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, you want to finish the point first, and then I'll come back.
I think we made the point. I think we made the point. Yeah. You can.
You see, in the Hafs, Adam received words from his Lord, and then it says "fataba alay,"
Yeah.
and so he forgave him.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like Adam forgave Allah.
Yeah. That I was gonna point that out as well. That because there's like games that Muslims try to play with the grammar, and sometimes they'll say that they'll use different rules for different different verses, and they try to use different rules to suit them. This is an example where if it goes back to his Lord, then the Lord is the one who's doing the accepting of the repentance. But if it's going back to Adam, then Adam is the one doing accepting of repentance.
Because the one who was mentioned first was Adam, not Allah. So he basically says it basically says Adam received words from his Lord, so he forgave him.
Yeah.
Now the he, is that Adam or Allah? Because Adam was mentioned first.
Yeah, and then it goes on. The verse can end as like Adam is the one who's the
most merciful one. Now I'm improving on the Quran. If it were me writing this verse, see, I'm bringing a verse like it. I would have said, Allah sent Adam some words, and then he forgave him.
Mm-hmm.
That would have, because Allah was mentioned first, so that he forgave him. The listener would know that it's Allah because he was mentioned first. That would have been a bit better way of saying it.
Yeah.
Because remember, the miracle of Islam is the language.
Yeah.
The language is so clumsy.
Yeah. So normally, like the pronoun goes back to the last noun, but there's problems with that in the Quran, where if we show that in other verses, then it makes a big problem. So depending on which grammar the Muslim accepts that day, you can use this as a response to them, depending on like the argument. All right, so you want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Our final example, the number 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chapter 2, verse 119. So this one was chapter 2, verse 37. Now we're going to chapter 2, verse 119. Indeed, we have sent you, speaking to Muhammad, with truth as a bringer of good tidings and a warner, not in the warner sense. Well, maybe in the warner sense, I don't know. And you will not be asked about the companions of hellfire. Now, guys, this one is really interesting. So Hafs representing one reading, and then Warsh representing another reading.
Mm-hmm.
One Quran's, some Quran saying one way, some Quran saying it the other way. Hafs is saying, you will not be asked, Muhammad, like you will not be asked about the companions of hellfire. Like you're not going to be asked about it.
Like you're not accountable for them.
Yeah.
Like they do their own thing. That makes sense.
And the other
you
one
will not
says,
be asked about them. Okay.
And the other one says, do not ask about the companions of hellfire. So one of them is a command to Muhammad not to ask about the companions of hellfire, and the other one is saying you will not be asked about the companions of hellfire. Now we can come up with our own kind of reason about that and what we think about it. But why don't we go to Al-Tabari real quick?
So if it's just a point to them, the direct critical mark for people with
So right up here,
the Hafs that most Muslims know on the left is wala tus'alu. Tus'alu means you will not be asked. It's passive.
This right here, guys.
The little well, I call it, it's a dhamma, but it looks a bit like.
Yeah. If you zoom in on it, it kind of like a little circle.
It kind
of looks like 9 a little bit, but it's a dhamma, which is like a U vowel.
Yeah.
And then you go to the other one, and
it's la tas'al.
Which
is la tas'al. Yeah, it's la tas'al. So the first one is the second one is imperative. It's fi'l amr, imperative verb. Don't ask. So which is weird for Allah to all of a sudden say to Muhammad, don't ask about them.
Yeah.
Like why can't you ask about the people of hellfire? Like I want to know who they are and how not to be one of them.
Yeah.
So let's see what Tabari says.
Al-Tabari, Abu Ja'far, said the correct reading. What did he say? The correct reading. Did he say the correct dialect? Or what did he say?
The correct reading, in my view, So it's a view now. It's not Allah did this and that both equally, and it's allowed and it's part of the beauty. It's like one is correct and one is wrong. It says was-sawabu indi, the correct. So which one did he choose?
The one who read in the nominative, which means the one where it says, you will not be asked, because Allah related the stories of the people among the Jews and the Christians and mentioned their misguidance and their disbelief, Allah, and their boldness against his prophets. Then he said, blah, 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 blah. We go down to the, to the therefore, the very bottom here, therefore, the interpretation of this statement must be referring to what was mentioned before this verse and to those mentioned after it among the Jews, Christians, and other disbelievers, not as a prohibition against asking about them. Actually, I shouldn't have skipped this part, because he says there was no mention of the prophet asking his Lord about the people of hell as to allow the phrase "do not ask." So he's using his reasoning again. He's not saying like, oh, this is how Muhammad said like this, Muhammad said like that. He's not saying that.
He's like, why would Allah randomly say, "Don't ask about the people of hell"? Muhammad, the prophet, never asked about them. Why would Allah say all of a sudden, "Don't ask about them"? He's saying you will not be asked about them, meaning you will not be accountable for them. That's all.
So Muslims will tell you that both of these are from God, but Al-Tabari is saying I only accept one of them because the other one doesn't make sense. Because why would he just randomly say, "Do not ask about the people of hell"? Did he say the people of hell or the companions?
the companions of
companions? Well, anyway,
Ahlul Jahim can also be the people of hell.
Ashab, yeah.
Sorry, Ashab al-Jahim.
Yeah. So this is he says there's no report that constitutes proof that the prophet was forbidden in this verse from asking about the people of hell. So he's saying that according to some Qurans, Muhammad would have been forbidden, like it would have been a sin for him to ask about the people of hell. But he's saying there's no prohibition about that. So he's saying Muhammad could have asked. So I guess you could pose it like this. Was Muhammad allowed to ask about the people of hellfire or not?
It depends on
what you're reading, right?
It depends on which Quran you're reading.
Yeah.
One Quran you can ask all day.
Yeah.
The other Quran you can't ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this one. I want to do something with this one because this one is like more.
I can do another. I feel another meme coming.
Yeah, I feel another meme coming. Yeah, I feel another meme coming. Yeah. All right, guys. So this is what we wanted to go over today. We didn't expect it to be 2 hours stream. We didn't know it was going to go that long, but it's so nice.
We have so many contradictions. That's why. In the dialects.
Yeah. I'm convinced that Momo made rules because he didn't like certain behaviors in others, aka cult leader rules, to keep people from leaving or questioning. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, especially the big one, which is if you leave it, you're dead. That's a huge one. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for the super
and
chat.
One that says I can have any woman I want.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cultish, I think.
DOC,
and I don't like dogs, so he forbade all his followers from having dogs.
Yeah. DOC, do you remember the Muslim Blake with the NASA logo? She became Christian. Praise God.
I know.
On TikTok debating. Yeah, we did have a discussion.
We did debate her
here on the last the hadith where it says where Muhammad said that the boy, that the last hour that like he'd be alive during the last hour or something to that effect, and we debated her about that. Yeah, that was a.
We did debate her, and she came to the Lord, and she's pretty against Islam now. She's I saw her in the chat. She was like, I don't like it when the Arabs use Allah,
Yeah.
And stuff. And I was like, wow, you're really gone super against Allah. That's awesome. The Allah of Islam, of course. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. When I hear like specific names that I don't remember everybody's name.
Yeah.
But we remember her name because Muslims came after her hard because they thought she wasn't she didn't like do a good job against us. But I think she did as far as she could actually.
Yeah.
She really valiantly tried to defend. She was defending to the death. So this gives me hope that when I see Muslims defending hard, I know what will come tomorrow.
Exactly.
They're gonna leave it.
All right, we're gonna switch off now. Go back on cam. And okay, guys. So I gave the other meme earlier, and I'll show you what it was at before and what it's at now. So when we left off at it was at 322,000. 300.
Okay, wait. Zoom in.
So you guys see this is what it was before, 322.7.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
we're gonna refresh it, and we're gonna see what you guys did. How did you guys make it? Because we
All right.
said
Don't let me down.
Whoa, 339.
Wow.
339. So that's
Wow.
actually a lot in this period of time. So this might go to like 500K tonight. Who knows? But it's, we want to give you guys the link one more time. And if you guys want to, you guys can interact in the comments. Like, just check out some of these comments here. You guys can go through these comments, find any Muslim in here that you want to, and just send screenshots like this, this right here. You can either clip it or you can send screenshots. So 3 persons. This is the most Indian coded. He thinks I'm Indian because my name is okay.
Oh,
Your VPN was off. He thinks I'm using a VPN. Okay, no problem. So yeah, so you guys can send him a clip of this, and if he still thinks I'm Indian after this, I don't know what to tell him, but I don't care if he thinks I'm Indian or not. Many different Qurans.
Are you sure, Jai? You look Indian to me.
Yeah. So whether I'm Indian or not, you still have many Qurans, don't you? That's a problem. So we were talking before how they weren't talking about the Trinity. Well, now they're talking about me being Indian, I guess. So I don't know. Right.
Hey, Jai, will you put that in then? I bet the one on very quickly.
Sure. Let's get it up.
All right. Somebody talking about vowel markings.
Okay. Yeah. For those of you guys who are paying attention to that, they're like very. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So the Muslim in the chat who's saying it's all just vowel markings, nothing different.
A Muslim said there's a vowel marking, just vowel marking differences?
He's like, well, what are you talking about? It's different words. They're just different vowel markings, man.
Okay, I'm going to put them really close to each other. Okay?
All right, let's put them next to each other. So tell me, all right, on one side you got 3 letters, on another side you got 4 letters.
Okay, well, let's go from right. Let's do it the proper Arabic way.
Okay, so Ainda. So there's Ainda here.
Spell it out.
Ainda, Ain, Noon, Del.
Okay.
That's one. Which Quran is that?
This is going to be Warsh.
Okay. Can you show him, just in case he thinks we made this up, show him to the right where it is in the actual verse.
Okay, right here.
Is here, Anda? Are these vowel markings?
Okay, now...
It's a word. It's a word. Now let's see the other side. Hafs. Ibad. Ain. Ba.
Wait. You said ba? You didn't say...
Yeah, ba. Where's the ba on the other side, man?
Oh, so this one has a noon, and this one has a ba. Oh, okay. So these are
and one has the alif.
Yeah, this line right here is
the alif. And where's the alif on the other side, man?
Where's the
alif? So can you show him? And then Dal. Can you show him on the other side in Hafs? I bet.
Yeah. Now maybe he doesn't know like how to read the Arabic, but this is called like a dagger alif. And so even if you don't have this, you still have a ba and a noon difference, but this means there's an alif here. Okay.
Let me say what's his name? DFWL layover. Vowel markings were added later to help non-Arabs with pronunciation. Not a single letter or word has ever been changed. You are talking about vowel markings. False premise of a change in root words.
Okay, where is this guy? Is he? You have to scroll up.
It's just scroll up a bit in the chat. You'll see him.
Okay, this one right here. This is the guy.
That's him.
Not the comment though, right? That's not the comment. This is
that's not the comment, but that's him.
Okay, right here. Okay, so how about we give another example? How about this one? Is this a difference of vowels?
I can see the vowel is a completely added word. It's the same verse, right?
How about this one though? How about this one? Is this a difference of vowels right here?
Okay, let me see on the one side in the Hafs. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ.
No.
Or maybe I'm going too fast for him.
Okay.
Shall we say slower? Can you point to it?
I wish I could put them so like right next to each other, but this is as close I can get.
This is good enough. Just come close to the screen. Put your eye in front of the screen and squint a bit.
So I want to just read this comment one more time. Vowel markings were added later to help non-Arabs with pronunciation. Not a single letter, look what he says, not a single letter or word has ever been changed. You are talking about vowel markings, false premise of change in roots. Okay, root words.
Okay, so he's disappeared from the chat. Okay, so I hope he's still watching.
Just to be clear, a bad and end do not share the same root. Just to be clear on that. Two completely different words, two completely different roots. Now, is this about vowel markings? The differences here?
I see a extra word, man, in the same sentence. So let's read the verse from the beginning. الذين يبخلون, those who hold back, meaning hold back possessions. ويأمرون الناس بالبخل, and they order others to do the same, hold back. ومن يتولى فإن الله هو الغني الحميد.
Oh, actually,
and whoever
yeah, go ahead.
And whoever turns back, Allah is free of need, praiseworthy.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see the huwa is disappeared from the other stuff from Warsh? It's
So
in the has.
it's not just a vowel difference, right?
It's a whole word missing, man.
So guys,
Dialectical mark?
if this guy was on X, for example, he made this public comment, all you guys would need to do, you don't even need to say anything. Just screenshot this and boom, send it to him. That's it. That's
So the Warsh Quran, if you're listening, Muslim, who you've been lied to all your life, is in red. If you go to Morocco, go to one of the mosques, you'll find this side of things on the right. Hafs is more widespread in the rest of the world. You'll find the other side with the huwa in it. So you need to have good eyesight, okay? And be able to read. And you'll see ain't no marks, ain't no diacritical marks, ain't no vowel markings. It's a whole word missing. Now, if you don't accept that this is a whole word, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Now you need to go back to school. You need to go back to school.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we do need a scholar to say there's a missing word.
Like, no, converts who don't know anything about Arabic, they know huwa. There's even a nasheed that says huwa, he is. Like someone tried to rap in English. And they're like, Allah, huwa, he is. So if you don't know huwa, I don't know how to help you. It's not a marking.
We got another Uthman question here. What's a word? What's a debate? What's a word?
Yeah, what's a vowel marking? A whole huwa, a whole word is a vowel marking now, apparently.
Yeah.
So he's disappeared from the chat as usual.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So what's that show?
Great.
Is it Jeopardy? Is it Jeopardy? Or the one where you buy vowels? Is that Jeopardy?
I don't know. I'm not American. We need you guys in the chat.
For the chat. Is that Jeopardy where you buy the vowel? I want to buy a vowel. We need to buy a word. This is a whole word, not a vowel. We need to buy a whole word.
So can you explain to the rest of us what that game is?
Oh, Wheel of Fortune. It's Wheel of Fortune. Okay, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
We have something in the UK. We have something similar. We have a lady, and she puts all the letters up on the
same
letter by letter.
Yeah, same concept. Yeah.
Countdown. That's in the UK.
Yeah.
And then the clock goes tick 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 tick
Yep.
tick 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 tick, and they have 30 seconds. Yeah, that's the Quran, right? You add in a letter. You need, and the longer the word that you make, you get more points. This is basically the Quran in between the different readings, man.
Exactly. All right. So that's our stream for today, guys. We didn't know it was almost gonna be a 2.5 hours. It's so nice to be with you guys. We can't wait to be with you guys from the studio again, God willing, soon. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all your support. Thanks everybody who liked the stream, and those of you guys who are here. And you guys are, supporting us through your prayer, your love, and we thank you for all the super chats and all the members. Thank you guys so much for that as well. And everyone who is always here. We recognize our is AP going live? Oh, why don't we do this then? I want to make it so.
Come back to the screen and tell them about X. Tell people what they need to do to help us with these memes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the screen here. Oops, I'm not on camera. Now I'm on camera. And I'm going to change my background real quick because I want to do something because we're gonna go raid AP. So I think it's kind of fitting I just changed rooms.
You're in AP's room now.
Now I'm in AP's room, guys. So we just got out of Avery's room. Now we're in AP's room, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so like it directs people over to his stream. But I mean, it's AP, so he's probably going to go live in like 20 minutes. So we might have to stay a little while. But if you guys want to stick around, we can hang out until he goes live. And as I'm just kind of going to redirect, okay, I'm going to redirect us to his stream afterwards. So we're going to like rate his stream. Here it is. Okay.
AP. I now call him AP. You see Osman, he called the Injil the Injil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe you guys. Osman is meant to be a sheikh. He thinks Injil has a ayn in it. He called it Injil.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the screen trying to see. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay.
Jai. That's your name now. Jai. And Diausi.
Yeah. All right. So here you go, guys. This is yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here's the link again, guys. If you guys want to go over to X, you guys have X accounts. You guys can follow us on X, and you can also, talk to the Muslims, get this thing going viral. If you click on that link and interact there with the meme, we got it right now. It's at 340,000 views. I'm thinking we'll probably hit like 500,000 tonight. Maybe. I don't know. Depends how active it gets. But yeah, so AP is going to go live soon, and then we'll send everyone over to his stream. But we got to wait for him to go live first. So what do we do until then? What do we do? What are we doing?
So we got that poor Muslim, that poor Mush Muslims. For us Muslims, we have faith in the promise of Allah. We don't need proof. Can you put that on? Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's like,
Oh,
dear.
sad.
Dear.
That's sad.
And we read it. For us Muslims, we have faith in the promise of God. We do not need proof.
That's
You know
really
who said that? All the people who rejected the prophets and their miracles. The proof was in front of them and they didn't take it. He said the Quran is protected and that's all we need to know. So you can show them in front of their eyes. You can show them it's not just vowel markings. You can show them different words between different Qurans that has never been preserved.
Yeah.
What do you guys think we should do? How do we solve this problem in people's brainwashed? What do we do?
Yeah.
So besides pray and beg God for mercy to open up these stones that are called brains.
Like the
Because
comments said, like they wash everything except for their hearts. We pray that God will give them new hearts. We pray that God gives them new hearts, and we really, guys, that's the only thing you can do to get through to them is prayer. You can't do it yourself. God can do it. Only God can do it. We can give them all the. It's like kind of like you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. That's the exact situation what we have here. It's like all the evidence is in front of him, and he's still saying,
we don't need proof. You know what happens when you come to day of judgment? God will say, I gave you proof. I gave you people who gave you in front of your eyes proof, and you're still too arrogant to take it.
Yeah.
We don't want that to happen to you, man.
Exactly.
I don't want to be next to you on Judgment Day. Muslims kiss so much the stones, the black stone, that the brain turns into stone. Let your brain be open to proof. The Lord Jesus, the Bible says, come, let us reason.
Yes.
It doesn't say turn your brain off.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah, we're just kind of just waiting until AP goes live. So if you guys want to just throw out any comments, we'll interact. Chat. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? Tell us about what's going on in your lives. What's going on, guys? You guys doing okay? How's everybody doing today? You guys prepared for you guys going to church tomorrow? I know we got different people living in different parts of the world, so maybe you already had church already. But what's up with everybody? How you guys doing? Yeah, Australia. We see Australia. Someone said Australia is doomed.
Someone said Chris from Speaker's Corner.
Chris is here?
Apparently some trouble. Muslims. Is that true? But Speaker's Corner is tomorrow, isn't it?
Oh, I think he was going to go to Speaker's Corner tomorrow. Yeah, he did.
Is he okay, you guys? Or is that just
he's not
rumors?
Wait, let me let's see what I said. Do you guys ever go? Yeah.
Maybe they're not meant to be saved. I try not to think that way.
No, because God makes it possible for everybody to be saved. They make the choice whether God gives them the free will. God gives them the free will. So yeah.
I've seen lots of people who have said, I will never listen, I will never open my, whatever proof you show me, and then they do come later. So just pray for them. People do change. You just don't have the time in your hand. Until they have their last breath, they have a chance. So, and we'll pray, because I don't care how much I dislike someone. I don't want anyone to go to hell.
Yeah, God doesn't want anyone to go to hell. He says he takes no pleasure.
I don't.
Hey, by the way, we have a request here. Major John, can you pray that I find a job? Yes, if you guys can pray for Major John, pray that Major John finds a job. We pray that Major John finds a job. Keep him in prayers. Say a prayer for him.
Jesus' name, you'll find a job that you like.
Yeah, let's see. Man, AP, we joke about him being late all the time, but it's like now we're actually waiting. Now we're actually like, we got 400 people just chilling here waiting on AP. So
yeah, can you guys also pray for me to there's some just for my travels too.
Yeah. Our situation, it's completely outside of our hands, but it's in God's hands. God is the only one who can do it right now. So we are just ask you guys to help us join us in prayer for DOC in our situation right now. God willing, we will be back very, very soon, but we don't know when that is going to be yet. But we ask for prayers that you guys would pray for God's favor in that. Just glad to know you guys aren't Calvinists. Yeah, no, we're not Calvinists.
No, we're not Calvinists. A lot of Calvinism in the UK.
Calvinist brothers and sisters, we consider brothers and sisters like Anthony. We disagree on Calvinism, of course, but we can, So. All right, so we got a comment here. Did you guys hear anything from or about Chris at Speaker's Corner? I'm gonna have to look into that. I didn't hear anything about that. So
I just saw people in the chat saying check on him. I'm like, what happened? But Speaker's Corner's tomorrow though. It's Sundays.
But
so I don't know.
Chris, Speaker's, like, what's going on? Did
what happened? Apparently, him and David from Speaker's Corner. David's another brother at Speaker's Corner. Apparently, they got into a scuffle or something.
Really? Okay. Well, we're gonna have to. Chris got his nose broke. He's live now. But who is live?
Really?
Is AP is live or Chris is live? Okay, we're gonna have to get in touch with Chris, see what's going on. All right, guys. Head over to AP stream, see what's going on there. Whatever's going on with Chris, we'll try to find out. Pray for him though, if he's in some sort of danger, if he got harmed at all.
Samewi says he went to debate Liviano and a fight broke.
Chris went to debate Liviano. Really?
Chris is like the most chill debater ever.
They were in Leicester Square to debate Liviano. Really?
Wow. That's the square. Okay.
Revelation 23. Okay, we're gonna have to check that out, guys. All right, I did not know about that. I'm just finding out now. He's okay, but okay. All right, guys. Keep Chris and I guess it's David as well. Keep them in prayers. All right, guys. We are just finding out about this now, so I don't have any information for you guys on that. But pray for Chris, pray for David. And all right, guys, we're going to send you over to AP's channel. I'm going to go check out what's going on with Chris. I'm going to reach out to him. So God bless you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
Jesus is Lord.
Amen.